Top down your hands in my lap. This could be us. Cruise the road. Hello, what's up, people? How you doing? Welcome on in. It is. Ooh, it's a little bit low. Let's do a little bit of this and let's do it again. Top Pick Tuesday, and it is number 9. We're up to number 9, a whole 2 months of this crazy show. Hi, show. How are you doing? I know there was a little bit of a snafu with like my sound going on in the beginning of there. Don't pay attention to that. Okay, that didn't happen. Now, anyway, I have the wonderful, who's in the chat right now, the wonderful Roroni Shogun, who's going to be joining me on this episode of Topic Tuesday. And we have a lot to talk about. Okay, would you like to say hi to the people, show? Oop.
It's the way my mic was all the way muted. I was like, absolutely not. No, I don't want to say hi to none of y'all.
I don't know what happened to my screen. Oh, there it is. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm bugging out. Oh my goodness. There we go. It's working. I was like, are my hotkeys working? Are my hotkeys not working? For a moment, it wasn't, but now they're okay. But in either case, yes, the wonderful show.
Everything looks good though.
Oh, thank you. I'll be trying. Got
on these little TV screens. This is cute.
Right,
it's real nice.
Right. We're in my little living room.
Out here.
Okay.
Period.
This is my gaming room. Okay, my future gaming room anyway. Hopefully. And
I know that's right.
I meant to go onto this screen at first because we have an important question for today, but we'll introduce that a little bit later on. I think the very first thing that we should tackle is Mr. Roroni Shogun. How are you doing this morning? How's everything?
I'm doing good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to scarf down a little piece of breakfast, because that's supposed to be the most important meal of the day. And, you got to make sure you eat at some point. Did you eat today, Kyle? That's my question for you. Did you eat today, sir?
I unfortunately did not. I've been running around.
That's wild. That's crazy. Let me just cast judgment on you. Shame.
Ooh.
Shame. Chat, encourage Kyle to eat something today. How are you just gonna be out here running on fumes, running on good vibes and ambition? Okay, we gotta take care of ourselves in 2023.
Listen, that is the vitamin of the day. Good vibes and ambition, 100%. Oh my god.
Okay, we gotta eat something.
Hi, Jace. How you doing?
But I'm doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the fact that we're already in September 19th, like we're in September on the 19th day of September, the year, I feel like just a few days ago, 2023 started. So it's interesting. It's very interesting to be here. It's nice and cold outside. I don't know if you've got to go outside lately, but I went outside yesterday and I was like, it feels like autumn and I love it. But yeah, I'm doing good.
It is not cold yet over here. Maybe in the morning. In the morning, it is a little bit chilly. It's a little bit chilly.
It was icy.
But over here, like
yesterday.
it's still like I'm looking outside. It is. Yesterday was raining, number 1, so it was kind of garbage. And number 2, right now I'm looking outside and I don't know what temperature it is, but it's looking like a nice old 80 or so. Because it is
okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah, I guess
80 is cool to me. I'm used to like 100,000.
I guess
Satan's ass crack as the temperature. So like, oh sorry. But yeah.
Well, we don't get I don't think we get that because you're like what down south somewhere, right? Atlanta, Georgia,
North
Carolina.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. All the trees be breathing all musky, humid heat on you. Yeah.
Yeah. Up here in New York, it doesn't get that hot. I guess the hottest that we'll get is probably like maybe high 90s, but
Okay.
Even so, that's a little bit too hot. You know, like I like temperate weather, you know, so like, and what I call
Yeah.
temperate is like 70. If I can get like a good 70,
70 is nice. 70 is cool for me.
I'm chill.
Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
I am chill.
Mm-hmm.
But I know
And
that.
that's the thing, though.
Hmm.
I feel like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I
it's
feel
fine.
like up north, you deal with like concrete heat and like the heat of the light reflecting off of buildings and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
As to where in the south, it's you're dealing with heat because of like, these plants. It's a kind of like a greenhouse effect. If you've ever seen like plants and you put them in glass or in like a
Hmm.
container and you see the perspiration that gets on top of the container that those plants are in. So both involve, cooking the humans, but just in very different ways. You guys kind of have like a nice oven and microwave effect, and we just have like this noxious plant environment, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Oh, it's like poison ivy
I
down
sound
there.
high as hell. Yeah, but
No, I
yeah.
understand. I understand what you're saying. I understand. Them trees coming for you. I see. I get it.
Okay.
So
I'm like Shyamalan movie.
also, since this is the first time over here, I know that we did a podcast previously called the G3
Mm-hmm.
podcast, Gaming Growth and Gratitude. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That was the brainchild actually of Music Juice, which was a fantastic expedition into the streamer world.
Yes,
I love that.
that was fun.
But
It was a lot of fun.
for anybody who is unfamiliar with what you do, please introduce yourself.
So, my name is Roni Shogun. I'm a variety streamer and content creator. I stream basically like my personality and things that interest me, games that I find interesting, and talk about stuff that I like. So, if you don't like it, that's too damn bad. Can I curse? I'm sorry. That's too damn bad.
Listen, I curse way too
But
much to tell anybody else not to, okay? Honestly. I try, but
if you
like
don't like it, then you can shove
kids,
it. No.
close your ears.
But yeah, I normally stream on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and I've started to make a transition over to YouTube. Not to say that I'm leaving Twitch or anything like that, but I know that I have been lazy when it comes to putting my content through the wheel of content creation, and I'm starting to do some more branching out and stuff on that. But it's a Roni Shogun on all social media platforms, including but not limited to Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter and Instagram.
Nice.
So yeah.
I'm very, very sorry. Hold on real quick. Lola's like yelling. Screaming.
No, you're good.
I don't know what this is.
Lola's telling you to go eat something. Mm-hmm. So anyway, now that you guys are here with me, I hope everybody in the chat has eaten something, because if I find out you ain't eat something, I'm about to start banging on your door, and I'm about to be like, I'm here to tell you to eat some other freaking food. Because you can't be out here hungry. You can't be out here chasing your dreams hungry. You can't be out here trying to build a better life for yourself starving. Okay, how you gonna help somebody else when you need help yourself and you ain't helping yourself? Anyway,
Wait, what?
I
What is going on?
we was just having a good old conversation. That's all. We was just having a good conversation and stuff, talking about the week so far on this lovely Tuesday. I wasn't cussing nobody out, I promise.
Okay. I'm like, I'm coming back. I'm hearing from my headphones. That's why I'm going to grab Lola. I'm like, what is this yelling? Like, what? Who is he talking to? No, but no, actually, I'm so happy for anybody who is, like looking for entertainment. Please go over to Roni's different channels. Okay, he is always putting out things. I always see his shorts on YouTube. Okay, the last one that I saw was the King one. That was actually pretty funny. I love that one.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And yeah, it's been actually, how long have we known each other now? I think it's probably like 4
I
years?
came to your channel. Your channel. And I want to say 2019. So yeah, 4 years. Because Shan, I don't know if you remember Shan XO.
With Twitch
she rated
Sings.
into you. We were with Twitch Sings. Yeah.
Oh my
I was like, he seems really cool.
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. What happened to her? I haven't seen her in forever.
She's been off and on. I haven't really checked in too much. I just like I'll see her stream sometimes and I'll stop by and say hello. But she is still streaming. I think she's playing a lot of pew pew games now.
Oh,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
maybe okay, maybe I'll have a
mm-hmm,
friend in that. Because Lord
mm-hmm.
knows I'm always looking for more pew pew people.
Okay.
Pew pew people.
Looking for a little pew 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 pew.
But yeah, so we have some important stories for today. There has been so much news in this past week, and then of course, I feel like every single Tuesday morning, I wake up to like a million things in my inbox, a million notifications about major news stories that are breaking, and it's like very surprising to me that like Tuesday is such a poppin' day. Like, why is Tuesday always the day for news? I don't understand. Because
Tuesday is not Monday. Like everybody's away from the grogginess of Monday and they're like actually opening up stuff and being involved in things. So really the stuff that happened on Monday, people aren't seeing until Tuesday because you know the grog and the coffee's finally setting in.
That's true. We're all too tired on Monday. Monday we mentally skip over Monday. It's true. But we have a major story with Cast Media. Podcasters that are under the Cast Media company are missing millions of dollars. $4 million in money. It's wild. And then there's Unity PR, which is under fire. That's been happening ever since I closed the stream on Tuesday. I think it was right after Last Topic Tuesday, or it was on Wednesday or like late Tuesday. Unity decided to release a statement saying that they're going to be charging developers fees for games, even applying retroactively to games that have already been released, which everybody went ballistic. Like, Twitter has literally been on fire consistently every single day since. So wild. And then this morning I woke up to Microsoft versus FTC. Microsoft is going through the Activision or the steps to acquire Activision Blizzard with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. And they, over this past night, leaked documents revealing Microsoft's entire like internal affairs, including an Xbox reveal in 2028, the Xbox mid-gen release for the Xbox Series X, and also plans to acquire Nintendo.
That's crazy.
You like what? Microsoft wants to buy Nintendo? Listen.
Yeah.
Listen, Microsoft is...
That's weird.
They are trying to like really take the entire market. So we're going to talk about that. And then the important question that you guys can call in for today. If you do not know, you can go into the chat redemptions. There's going to be a show. Thank you so much.
It's like the only way you can host people now because they changed hosting on Twitch. You have to raid them from your channel. I'm so sorry, but yeah, I wanted to just go ahead and
that's
post
true.
that up. Get up in here. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much, Show. And in addition, we have this wonderful question that apparently Lola wants to answer as well. Do you have anything to say?
Aw, little chicken nugget.
Oh, there's a little blip. Perfect. Wow, what a statement. And this question is aimed towards everybody in the audience. If you do not know, you can go into the chat redemption. Ooh. I do not know why, but when I switch scenes, my notifications replay. So.
Oh, that's crazy.
Okay, anyway. So, is gender in gaming esports a necessary line we need to draw? This is something that I've been very, very passionate about for forever. I actually sent Show this question on Sunday just to make sure that he was okay answering this, because I feel like this is a nuanced discussion that, you know, can, you know, I think be certain people can be very sensitive to. Also, if you guys are hearing this lawnmower in the background, I am so sorry, because this is driving me crazy right now, but there's nothing I can do, unfortunately. My Windows cannot block out the sound. But
would you like some ambient background music? He heard you talking shit.
He did. He was like, oh shit. I better stop.
I could try and find you some nice low ambient, what is it? Streamable non-DMCA ambience if you'd like. Hold on.
Okay.
We love an ambient gig. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Yes, sir. So, this is a little bit spurred on by one of the stories that we'll talk about today. Last week, Magic Moonshot, who was the community manager for a Halo esports organization, sent out a tweet saying that they were not going to be allowing women and they were not going to be allowing trans women into their women's gaming tournament event, which appropriately was met with a lot of backlash. However, I feel like there's some nuanced points within that discussion that I feel like we should discuss. So, ooh,
there you are. You could. There's a link. I agree that it was definitely met with necessary backlash. I feel like. Sorry. Are we starting the discussion?
I mean, if you want to talk about it,
we can talk about it.
Also, just before you go into that, just letting you guys know, for anybody who's in the chat, there is a redemption that you can go onto Twitch, and it costs, I think it's like 500 or something like that, 500 cookies. If you want to give us your own opinion on that, then you could be welcomed into the Discord call by redeeming that chat redemption.
Ooh, that's cool. That is neat. Make sure you get your cookies up out here in these cookie streets, because I got about 64K cookies in it, motherfucker. Get your cookies up.
It's the censorship for me.
The late censorship. I need to get better at whenever I open my mouth, I just need to have my finger on the. I just need to. Second. What's up, Zay? Welcome in.
Yo, Zay. Zay, we were talking about you last week. Just letting you know, we were talking about Jealous's.
That's right.
We were talking about Jealous's fourth, and the fourth. No, third.
Child,
I'm stupid.
Good. I don't know what number it was.
The murder mystery.
Good, okay? That
exactly.
Murder mystery, child.
Exactly.
Hi, Cordial.
Hi, Cordial. Yeah, we were talking about it. I didn't put the video up on YouTube just yet. I'm going through all the editing for it, but it should be up by actually tomorrow. The first part anyway, because it was like a 4-hour long podcast, so I gotta split that up into 2 pieces because I know y'all need a break sometimes. No one wants to watch a 4-hour shit, you know?
Listen, I had to split up. I'm splitting up my current little king thing. That was 3 hours, and I was like, I'm tired of me. So I know y'all sick of seeing me. Like, goodness gracious.
Dope, I feel honored. You should. You ate that motherfucking intro up, okay? You ate it up. That was crazy. Even on rewatching it, I was like, I was in my little Tupac sway dance. It was nice. Anyway, if you would like to talk about this right now, show, let's go. Before we talk about it, let's just introduce the story to everybody else, okay? So, also, I don't know if I do. Okay, good.
You do.
Perfect. Let's just go over to Twitter. All right. I'm literally just going to scroll down to my tweet on this. All right. So, as far as it goes, Magic Moonshot sent out this tweet. This was, what day was this? This was on September 13th. So yeah, it was on Wednesday. So Wednesday morning, they said, I am building out channels in my Discord for the Lady Scrims on Saturday. I love and value all people. And as a Christian, I believe God created people in his image as male and female. Cites Genesis 5:1-2. Therefore, I will not be allowing trans players to participate. Okay. Now this is my tweet, okay? But I also took a picture of Magic Moonshot's other tweet, which is like literally 5 hours before she tweeted this. And she said, for 2 weeks, I picked up my daughter from preschool with her saying she had a bad day. We decided to take her out of school and I'll be homeschooling both kids the rest of the year. Our son is in first grade. We're trying to find a new routine this week. And I just wanted to say, like, it's just so funny because when people have like some sort of, it checks out. It checks out. When people have like sort of like skewed, sort of bigoted views of trans people, which I'm not necessarily saying that she has bigoted views because we can assume a lot off of that initial tweet. However, to assume bigotry is a little bit, I think, excessive. However, it's just funny how those things check out. When people don't want to learn about trans people, about gay issues, about LGBTQ things, they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna take our kids out of school. It's time to homeschool. We don't need these liberal teachers infecting our children with all of their liberal nonsense." So I found it kind of ironic that just 5 hours before that she was deciding to homeschool her kids.
And what's funny is I don't want to be broad. People who think like this are often quick to name or categorize it as something that's liberal, when anything that is not liberal is patriotic and, godly. I think that's very strange. When our country isn't even founded off of it's like, yeah, sure, the forefathers might have claimed Christianity or whatever, this, that, and the third, but the country is supposed to be, freedom of religion and freedom to live how you would like to live, as long as you're not forcing that on somebody else. So I think it's very, very weird that we are starting to live in a more society that swings more towards this Republican and Christian mindset. That's the shield that they hide behind, but it's really, they don't want to see from the perspective of anyone who's different from them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's very important to understand that we as people, there's about 11 billion people. No, there's 8 billion people on this earth, okay? And we all live differently. We all have different perspectives, okay? And we cannot rely on one single religion, in my opinion. We cannot rely on one single religion to dictate, what we should be doing, and in all aspects of our lives. Like what Cordial just said, church and state should be separate. We have secular government for a reason, and in addition, I also forgot to do this. Hold on, we're gonna do a little bit of a scene switch over here, because I forgot to grab I discovered what was going on, because last stream I was trying to figure out why my Twitch chat was not showing up. And it's because I had a different one. I put this nasty black Twitch chat onto my topic display, my topic Tuesday display. Yeah, it was disgusting.
While you in light mode, that's crazy.
Okay, don't talk about light. Please leave my light mode alone.
I was itching to comment on it when I saw it.
Leave my light mode alone. Okay.
You like burning your retinas, clearly. Okay, singeing them things.
I just don't. See, the thing is, in order for you to do it on Twitter, you need to download the Google Chrome extension for dark stuff. And I do not trust extensions. Don't at me, okay? I don't trust it. I feel like my information is going somewhere else. I don't know what you're doing with the information. Why can't you just integrate it into the mother freaking Google Chrome just settings? I would just click the freaking switch box and switch it over. Anyway, so that's how I feel about it.
Let me just burst your bubble. They already have your information. Okay, they have it already. And they just fiddling around with it like a cat playing with a mouse. It's just like,
Now, Cordial, you can't say that without giving some sort of context. Oh my god, BBC means big black chat. Okay, we came up with that last stream. Okay,
I picked that up.
All right,
big black chat.
All right. Please. Anyway,
that's exactly what it is.
Sorry, Zay. Anyway, so I agree with Sho. People decide to use this this concept of religion that they have, and thank you so much, Sabo, for following. Peace, love, and aggression. Welcome to the Race Nation. Look, and I love how it shows can I curse on the stream, and literally in my notification it's saying fuck you, Kyle. Anyway, so
that's crazy.
As far as this goes,
you, Kyle.
Damn. I mean, you're right.
I was reading it out. I was reading out the notification.
So, yeah, as far as it goes, I do think that people decide to use the Bible as a shield, but also, I think that the bigger question about this, because this question that we have over here, okay, this Topic Tuesday question, is gender and gaming esports a necessary line that we need to draw, is not about trans people. It includes trans people, but it's not about trans people, okay? I'm talking about everybody overall, gender in gaming esports. If you look at esports, it is dominated, absolutely dominated by men. All right? And then if you look at the breakdown by gender of video game players, it is just about equal. So what the now I need shows beep. What the fuck are we doing? And thank you. And why is there such inequality in esports? Like, is gender in gaming, is that line that we're creating even having women's, tourneys? Now, having women's tourneys, I do have something to say on that. But, is having women's tourneys the thing that we should be focusing on, the thing that we should be doing? Or should major esports organizations simply just be, should they just be hiring more women? And I know a ton of women who are in gaming. I know a ton of women who are competitive as shit. All right. And let me tell you, they don't get looked at. It is a boys' club. And I feel like we have to get to the root of what is going on. Why is this the case? Doing a little bit of research through this, there is a little bit of banter about how women aren't as good as men in video games, etc., etc., etc. Y'all, I have so many things to say on that. Do you have anything to say on that, show? Because I'm gonna pull up some articles over here.
Yeah, no problem. I would never say women aren't as good as men at video games. That is a farce. But I will say women play video games differently than men play video games. I think it should be taken into account, like how everybody's going to play a video game different. For example, I would play Diablo different than how you would play Diablo, different than how, a woman would play Diablo, so on and so forth, because we play based on our interest in what we find, like, cool. So with that, and already I'm thinking, like, okay, who are the people that are playing video games in general? Who plays video games? Then you have to break that down and dissect it and break it into groups. Okay, this many men play video games. This many women play video games. What video games is each group playing? So I feel like it is necessary that we do we provide a space, or a space is provided, I say we, but a space is provided for women in competitive video game esports and things like that. But also I feel like it's important that women are incorporated in the esports teams. I don't think everything needs to constantly be men and women. Like, sometimes we could just merge things. But also it does come down to competition, and can this person beat this person? If you get eliminated in let's say Street Fighter. If a woman happens to get eliminated in a Street Fighter competition, I don't think that's anti-women. You know what I mean? She just didn't beat some person who happened to be a guy. But I also think it's important that we do highlight and showcase that there are women who play video games, because there's a lot of people with this stigma or stereotype thinking, oh, well, women don't play video games, only nerdy men play video games. And we have to get out of that mindset. And also we have to talk about the fact that men have not made video games a welcoming place for women. We need to talk about that, because men haven't made it a welcoming place for other men, So guys needs to do better.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel like it is a boys' club, and it's not a boys' club simply because boys play the game, or play the game more than women. Because if you look at the statistics, 53% of men, people who identify as men, play video games. 51% of people who identify as women play video games, and that's stats from 2022. Okay, so in 2023, things are getting even more equal. Every single year, gaming is becoming the biggest entertainment industry. Like, it is on the rise to be the biggest entertainment industry by, I think, 2026 or 2027, taking over the TV industry. It's already taken over the Hollywood movie industry. So it's very, very interesting to see how men are essentially excluding women. And in addition, I do feel like they exclude POC as well, but that's a topic for another day.
Listen,
okay, that's a topic for another day.
No, let's open Pandora's box now. No. Bust it wide open. But like, I just want to say, like, I'll say, I was a teenager in Call of Duty lobbies, and the things that you would hear about people of color, about different just women, and just, it is nasty. It is a terrible, it was a terrible time. People were like talking about, we need to go back to old 2013. No, the freak, no, the we don't, okay? Because people need to get better. People need to grow up, okay? And I feel like it starts with us. It starts with people who are the, you know, I'll say with streamers have either been a detriment in that or have been helpful in that. In the spaces that we frequent, and I want to say that we're in, like, we don't see that, we don't see toxicity, but what gets popularized, you know, what gets promoted, what gets clipped over and over again, it's when these streamers are cursing people out, calling them out of their name and causing a big scene and are making a ruckus. And that gets put into the culture, that gets permeated throughout, you know, video game culture of degrading women, degrading people of color, slurs and all this stuff. And that's not okay. When do we say this is not okay? This is not the standard.
And vice versa. The clips of women that go popular generally will be the women who are, you know, the booby streamers, which I don't have anything against, but that is literally the biggest content of women that will get, you know, promoted and popularized, mostly because of men, I would venture to say. But like it doesn't necessarily have to deal with
your money, girl.
Exactly, yeah, you better get that bag. But at the same time, like, that, we don't see women who are, for example, one of my favorite women in competitive gaming right now, Cuddlecore. She just won a championship over the summer, or I shouldn't say a championship, but a tourney over the summer. And she's one of the fighting game team members for Cloud9. She's awesome, and, you know, her clip of her winning was like one of the, you know, most, I don't know, just joyful things that I've ever seen. And I love seeing it, and I love the fact that I was seeing a woman get that honor. And meanwhile, you won't really see that clip trending, you know. Now also, at the same time, generally you won't really see that many, you know, Sonic Fox clips trending or anything like that. But at the same time, like, I would love to see more of that coming to my timeline, rather than the vast majority of women coming to my timeline being scantily clad, we'll say. And like I said, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's just simply the way that the algorithms are working. And the algorithm pushes that sort of content to us, because that is apparently the stuff that we are sharing. So it's really something to really think about. And we honestly don't give enough credit to women in gaming, because, like I was saying before, I know a whole bunch of competitive women gamers. And, oh no, he's coming to my window. Listen, Show, I think that you're
like
gonna have
this chainsaw.
God damn! I'm gonna have to mute. Okay, Show, this is now your podcast. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself.
Please. He said, "Oh no, is the ambient music not working? Where's the music? Do your job, music."
But
do your job.
But yeah, so I went through a little bit of research over here, okay? I wanted to see, you know, just exactly how much women were making in the realm of competitive gaming, and I pulled up a couple of articles. These are the most successful female esports champions, and of course, in parentheses, they make far less than their male counterparts.
It's wild. It is disgusting. The gap.
It is really
the two.
Yeah. Like, for example, let's just read this. Sports gender pay gap is clear as day. Football's best male star, Cristiano Ronaldo, takes home 365. Now, this is also from 2018, so just take that. Okay. Takes home 365 pounds a week. His female counterpart, Lika Martins, earns approximately 175,000 a year. So that's half. Okay, less than half, actually. Yeah. And then, in addition, when we're talking about that, you know, we can talk about how, you know, men's football versus women's football. Maybe men's have more advertisers, men's have more viewership, so maybe that's why they get more pay. However, I'm literally going to be editing this out of the YouTube video. Holy crap. But anyway,
I got the article.
He keeps getting closer. Like, I think he's doing it on purpose.
He's tapping on your window a bit, like,
hello. Hi,
Let
King,
me
by the
see.
way. How you doing? But esports bets data shows that the top 11 female esports stars have earned a combined prizes of 635,000. In comparison, their closest male equivalents have earned 2.82 million. Now that's humongous. That's the
That's
top
wild.
11, dude.
Yeah.
Combined earns
They've made
less
3
than
times. Yeah.
that's like less than 4
That's
times.
crazy. Yeah.
It's wild. And the thing is that we can't say that women's esports versus men's esports one has higher viewership, one has, you know, more sponsors or whatever, because the thing is that gender is not a thing in esports. Okay, gender is not a thing in esports. I'm just gonna let you guys know. It's really not. Like there are, like, for example, Nikki Baby, she was on NRG. You know, like esports have the ability to hire women and have them be a part of the team and not have any, you know, the reason why we separate men's versus women's sports is because men don't want to be tackling women on a football field, for example. You know, like the men don't want to be, you know, beating women up in boxing. You know, like it just feels like you're punching down, because there's a sort of inherent strength difference between the two. However, esports, this is digital. Like we don't have that in digital, you know, in pixels. Like you can't say that this pixel's stronger than the other. It's all about reaction time. And now there's also some things that do say that women have a slower reaction time to men in gaming. But I venture to say that the reason why we see these differences is because women were dissuaded from joining gaming in the first place. You know, but if you want, you could say something, Shaw. I know you want to say something.
No, I just feel like a lot of these men in video games might be scared that they're gonna get they handed to them from a woman, and they just need to get over it and get on the ground and grovel. Okay, sometimes that's a nice, much better position to be in. But yeah, I feel like to say that any kind of argument that would be put up to say women should not be in video games is just foolish. You know, like why? What grounds do you have to stand on that to say that a woman cannot compete in a video game?
So
they really at your window. Sorry.
They really are. They really are. They really are. So like, I just want to show you guys this. This is like the main thing, because men love to have this. Yeah, I want to read what King said. Yeah, get for the most part why traditional sports have pay difference, but esports should not have a pay difference. Yeah, I 100% agree. And you know, this is what people say, according to, you know, this whole men love to have this superiority complex over women. They just love they love it. I don't know what it is, and I feel like maybe it's because I'm part of the LGBTQ squad that, like, maybe that's why I see things differently. However, this is what people are saying. FPS games do require fast reflexes, but for those who post these studies are overestimating how much and how other more significant factors affect men's reflexes as well. So the entire thing is that men's reflexes are faster than women, which is why they're saying that there should be a separation between the two when it comes to women's esports versus men's esports. Men reaction time versus women. And over here, it says that mean reaction time. I just had it pulled up. So right over here, the mean fastest reaction times were 23 milliseconds shorter in men than women. So 166 milliseconds versus 189 milliseconds respectively. So this is taking all of the reaction times. This is over sports, okay? So this is over like real life sports. And they use that statistic to justify the fact that women should be separated from men, because when it comes to competitive esports, once again, you know, like one of the biggest things is going to be how quickly you can react to certain situations. And supposedly women react slower, which is why they separated. Men will inherently have this, power difference over women, so it's not going to be fair, etc., etc., etc. However, once again, I believe that this is because we are taking data from real life, okay, rather than in a digital space, okay? And number two, in women's sports, women were not persuaded to go into sports for the longest time, okay? For the longest time, men had such a humongous evolutionary time period where they can perfect their technique, where they can, go over, ghost races and ghost times and focus on improving their fitness and their coordination to the point where they can, beat scores and, complete running and or run a mile under 4 minutes and all this other stuff. However, we shouldn't be striving to reinforce that difference. We should be striving to equalize that difference. And I think the very first place where it's feasible and practical to do that is in the digital space.
Yeah. And that's not just to say in the digital space, and with the point that you're making with women in sports, women have not been given the opportunity to do a lot of stuff until fairly recently.
Yeah.
From voting to working and all this other stuff. This is just yet another area of how men have dominated something and have gatekept something.
Yeah.
And now we are I don't want to say seeing, it's not so much repercussions. We're seeing the effects of what it looks like when men are not dominating something. And for a lot of, I'll say a lot of men with that toxic mindset, with the toxic mindset of thinking that they're superior to women, they feel threatened. Let's call a spade a spade. They feel threatened. Somehow they feel inferior if they get beat by a woman in a video game, in a sport, in the job market, and and it's just like, maybe you need to change your perspective and you need to change your worldview, because you have this superiority complex that you have to be over someone.
I mean, honestly, I shouldn't even say the first place that this is feasible is in the digital space, because the very first place that it should have been feasible is in business, to be very, very honest. Okay? The gender pay gap in real life is still very, very, very palpable.
Open up that Pandora's box.
Okay.
The gender pay gap, period. Across the board. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be changed. Because it needs to be addressed.
I'm going to tell you right now, the best business people in my family, 100% the women in my family, my sister and my mom, the most brilliant people I've ever met. My sister, I don't know how she does it. She is she's on this entire role. She moves from job to job to job to job to job, and this is on purpose. She's like, oh, I reached head of HR. Oh, well, I'm going to go for president of human resources. Oh, I reached president of resources. I'm going to go for CEO. Oh, I reached CEO. Let's go for it. Right. And I look at her and I am amazed. Okay. However, I know for a fact that simply because, she is a woman, but also because she's POC, that she's going to be looked down upon by certain people. Right. And it's not going to be her fault. It's not going to be her qualifications fault. It's just going to be the way that she looks. And we just have to get over, men are 100% feeling threatened in some way, shape, or form. And this is why they try to reinforce these stereotypes. But
right. And can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
While you're on that, what's interesting is if you look at from a very, very young age of women and men, or boys and girls in education, girls are crushing it. They are excelling at education, as to where boys and men are floundering and failing. So I think it's a very interesting flip that when you get into past high school, past college, that there's this weird, okay, well now we're changing it, and women have to they have to literally fight. Like Joe said, sometimes we have to keep moving because we hit a ceiling at jobs. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So that's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, no, that's
to get you off your train of thought.
No, it's important. I was pretty much done. I know I talk a lot,
Me too. We just be talking in circles. It's okay.
It's fine, okay? Because we need to repeat this shit. Listen, the rule of threes, okay? The rule of threes in marketing. You gotta say it 3 times or else they're not gonna get it, all right?
Okay.
Okay.
We're just gonna circle back to my first point, please.
Circle back. So I just want to share this. This is something that I pulled up, and it is a very important article about the 5 women who are making esports history. This is actually very recent. This is from March 1st, 2023. Okay, so if you just want to look up some people who are doing admirable things in gaming, you should check out Scarlett, who is a StarCraft 2 player. She was the first woman to earn or to win a major tournament in StarCraft.
Wow.
Which was very, very impressive. Yeah. And then she also was named the highest earning female competitive video game player by the Guinness Book of World Records in 2016, with more than $362,000 to her name in prize money, a record previously held by Katharina Mystic Gunn, who I believe is also on... no, she's not on here. Rip. I'm sorry. But in addition, there's S. Julks. I don't know how to pronounce his name, okay? This is like a crazy Norwegian name. FG Julks de Porter. I'm so sorry, girl. I appreciate everything you're doing. But but she has a
That's real nice. That's a name.
That is a name. Right. Your parents are doing something. She has a master's degree in history and journalism from Ghent University. She managed to combine her love for gaming and journalism by becoming a freelance esports journalist. Okay. She was recognized by the Game Awards and the Esports Awards as Best Esports Host for 4 years in a row since 2017. So she's just a great caster. And then, in addition, there's going to be Trisha Megamix Bear. I've heard her name so many times. I hear Megamix all the time. But former FlyQuest CEO, current Cloud9 Chief Operating Officer. There it is. Or operations officer. Trisha Megamix Bear got her start as an esports host. She went on to be the director of esports for streaming platform Azubu, head of partnership for Immortals before landing the position of CEO for FlyQuest. So now she's FlyQuest CEO as of January 2020. Once again, she joined Cloud9 as chief marketing officer and eventually was promoted to COO of Cloud9 in 2022. So, like, Cloud9 is one of the major teams. I believe that Cloud9 didn't Cloud9 win last year's League of Legends?
Listen, don't ask me. Only Cloud9 I know is when I'm as fuck. Okay? Oh, well. That's the only Cloud9 I know.
Hi, Chico. Okay, so this is from this year. But yeah, in either case, if you don't know Cloud9, then, you know, like, they're one of the major... I think that everyone who knows about esports knows about Cloud9. And then, so she is the chief operations officer for that group. And then there's also Remilia, who's in League of Legends. Maria Remilia Krebling was a former League of Legends pro player and streamer. She began a professional career in 2013, competing in the NA Challenger Series. She joined several Challenger level teams and was credited as both the first woman and the first transgender woman to play in the NALCS. So once again, trans people making a statement. Okay, and she is noticed as a woman. Okay. Hi, Lukey.
Mel just redeemed third.
She is noticed as a woman. Okay, so thank you very much. All right, I would just like to say trans women are women. Okay, trans men are men.
Period.
Okay. Like, listen,
Period.
I understand that you might think from certain ways of how you were grown and everything like that. All I ask is just that you open up your mind to understand that other people have different lived experiences as you. And just because you're born with woof woo or a hoo ha, you know, like it doesn't matter. Okay, it's about how you feel in society. All right, that determines what your gender is. Okay, I would just like to say that. And this is coming from a very, very cis man. Okay, very cis. All right, I like my woo-wah. Anyway. I think so. I know that's right. Born with a what? Listen.
Right, Court. I said a what now? A who name? A wheat what? In a doodah? Like a what? Please. I think for me, my and I'm going to say something that I don't want to get me to canceled.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people get so caught up on, you know, things like pronouns, and I feel like people's pronouns are important, don't get me wrong. I want to say the opposite camp, get caught up on things like people's pronouns and whether they are a trans man or a trans woman. It's like, if they say they are a woman, or if they say that they are a man and they aesthetically, this is what they are presenting as, then just leave it at that. It's none of your fucking business at the end of the day, because you're not like in a relationship with that person. You're not a family member of that person. Even if you are, you should be supporting them regardless. You know, they're not harming you, they're not hurting anybody else. So why is it your business or concern? Because immediately people's minds go to, well, what about this? Or what about that? What about the people who are already doing evil acts that you are not concerned about, but you're trying to beat on life? Let's talk about that. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting sphere that again, these shields that people try to hide behind as if it's noble and as if it's this major cause, when they don't focus on the terrible things that people are blatantly doing already.
Yeah. And I think it's worth noting that, you know, a lot of people love to talk about, you know, the bathroom thing, like, you know, oh, I don't want a man going into a woman's bathroom and, you know, trying to spy on the woman, you know, just because they identify as trans. I mean, like, I think that there's one thing that we all know, and that is that people are shitty. All right. There's bad people in the world, all right? Just because you're trans doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to be a bad person. We understand that already, okay? That's just in human nature. However, the overarching goal that we want to see is just equity, all right? Is equality, all right? And in order to see that happen, we have to understand that we have to first off recognize that they are valid. All right, recognize that they are valid, and then we also have to recognize that the way that they require to, you know, like go about their life with, you know, medical issues, go about their life with, you know, marriage, go about their life with, you know, or partnerships in any capacity, I should say, you know, like that also has to be essentially accommodated, or not even accommodated, but just like allowed, not outlawed. like that's pretty much the point.
It's such a weird, I want to say knee jerk, but also like violent swing to from one extreme to another. You know what I mean? It's like, why is there such this reaction in this it's literally like a discrimination towards trans people, though, and it's kind of ridiculous. Not even kind of, it is ridiculous.
And I love the fact that, you know, that trans people are getting such a focus in this discussion, although the conversation isn't explicitly about trans people. However, I feel like it's one of the biggest things that pop up constantly. Yeah, you know, like
I feel like it is. It's going to be, when you talk about gender, and I think within esports and gaming, I feel like it would be a big topic as to where, again, if gaming is going to be something that is going to spearhead, and I'm thinking of like the person in the Olympics who's carrying the torch bearer. There we go. God. If gaming is going to be a torch bearer in creating equity, a space of equity towards men and women in gaming, I feel like that has to be a topic that is discussed. Very, I don't want to say like focused on, like that's the only thing you talk about, but it is going to have to be talked about, because I think there should be tournaments where men and women can play, and if men want to have men tournaments and if women want to have women tournaments, cool, do those things, but also don't exclude trans people who identify as who they say they are. You know, don't do that. That's just nasty.
Cordial, I hope you have a great day at work. Thanks so much for being here. PLP.
Bye, Cordial.
But yeah, no, I 100% agree. And I think that honestly, like, now this is the thing about women's sports, because women, and this is the same thing that I say about like black girl gamers, same thing I say about like if there's going to be a POC tournament, we see a clear domination of certain demographics in the major tournaments that have like the major money and the major viewership and the major sponsorships. Okay, clear domination of white cis male. Okay, clear as day. We don't need another white cis male specific tournament. Okay, that is why we have specifically women tournaments. Okay, it is not for, it's not to enforce this separation of the genders. It's simply because they're not seen, they're underrepresented. So they create tournaments for themselves in order to boost up a community within that demographic, in order for them to, see more of what they want to see in the future. That you build up the networking opportunities, you build up the sponsorships, you build up the viewership, and you build that up within your own community. Okay, so that is the reason why. A lot of people are hyper focused on the fact that people are separating themselves from the main tournaments so much that they think that it's like reverse sexism or reverse racism, and like we just got to stop that mindset, because it's so wild. When how can it be racist when y'all are already winning all of the money? I don't get it. Y'all are already getting all of the viewership, so I don't understand how it could be racist or sexist for these underrepresented groups to vouch for themselves. So, and
I want to add with that, that's probably why we see, like, even what you were saying with this previous article with the women who, are in the Guinness World Record books for having the most money, but the max she collected was like what, $300,000?
Yeah, 360.
That's nothing. That's nothing compared to the amount of money men have won in tournaments.
Nothing.
So in just like you said, they're in the small pockets of marginalized groups that typically aren't seen, that typically don't get the big name sponsors and things like that. And I feel like, yes, I understand why we have those competitions, and I'm not saying we shouldn't have the competitions with people of color and for women specific, but I feel like, dang, like there should be a lot more money in that. They should be winning a lot more money, and it's very disproportionate. And it's sad how disproportionate it is. And
all I'm gonna say is just that if there was equality in those groups, then we wouldn't need those tournaments. Right. Period. They wouldn't be here. I'm just saying, like, they wouldn't be here. This is a symptom of the situation that we, and I love to say this word, this is we, okay? We as human beings, okay? Because naturally, instinctually, we have these habits of just, banding with other people who look like us, who look like, I probably have, personally, I really don't. But generally, a person who's black will have proclivities for looking for other black friends, Generally, a person who's a woman will have a proclivity towards looking for, other woman friends, However, I feel like that in the digital age, in the age of Beyonce's internet, okay, like we're starting to break down these barriers and realize that we are a lot more alike than we are different, which is actually, that's the whole peace, love, progression right over there. Okay, all right, peace, love, progression. We have more similarities than we are different, and we can clearly see some of these things are given disproportionate weight. These certain inherent characteristics, they're given disproportionate weight in the way that we organize some of these major money winning events in sports competition. And yeah, I feel like we just need to break that down. We need to break that down. So also, just lastly, this is also the Dota 2 host and personality Jorian Sheaver Vander Heijen. These names are wild, but has appeared in countless Dota 2 tournaments throughout the years and become a frequent face at DPC majors and the international. So she was dubbed the Queen of Dota 2. She started her casting career in 2012. In 2017, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Despite the life-threatening disease, she continued to attend tournaments and events. Listen, I'm just trying to, I know that's right.
Dedication.
I know that's right. Listen, people want to talk about how women are weak. I don't know, bro. I don't know about that one. But in either case, like we said, the question today is gender in gaming a necessary line that we need to draw? I don't create this podcast just to have an echo chamber of what I like to hear. Okay, so I do have my opinions on the subject. However, even if you disagree, you are absolutely welcome to voice your opinions as long as you are, as long as you are respectful, right? So feel free to go into the chat redemptions. There is a redemption where you can redeem a spot in the Discord call, and you can just expand on the topic yourself and let us know how you feel. Okay. So,
in order to answer this question, I think a line needs to be drawn, but my mind is like, well, what kind of line are we drawing? Is it a squiggly line? Is it like a dash? Is it a circle line? I feel like things need to be highlighted and addressed in order to bring about equity. And I think that should be the focus, not so much one group away from another group or to elevate one group above another group. I think it should be, okay, as you said earlier, in a perfect world, we wouldn't need these things. I think the line that's drawn should be directing towards more equity, to when more women can win prizes that are $1 million and not just 100,000, to where, people of color are seen. I know this is focusing mainly on gender, but just across the board of the amount of just how much things have been unfairly or are disproportionate. I think we should aim for equity, because everyone gets caught up on equality and things like that, and it's like you can't have equality without equity. So I feel like that's important.
So like what you
nobody worry about equality until money is affected. See.
So like what you're saying is that in a practical world, you don't think that there should be a line. I'm sorry, in a utopian world, there shouldn't be a line. But in this practical world where we have these differences, that we do need to have this line in order to elevate other people to the same level as these, major money-winning competitions. Yeah.
Yes, recognizing that things are not fair or even equal. Talking about because you pulled up the diagram of all the women that had are pretty much top in their respective games, and then you see how much they're making, the wage gap, you see how much they're making in compared to their male or men counterparts, and it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like it ain't making dollars either, but yeah. So
man, it ain't making dollars.
But
that's funny.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you have to address it. You have to bring it up.
Yeah.
And when people bring up the facts, well, maybe they don't have enough sponsorship. Well, why is it that they don't have enough sponsorship? Because they're not getting enough viewers. Well, why aren't they being pushed in the algorithm of Twitch, the algorithm of YouTube as much as these men are? So you really have to get down to the nitty gritty, and people don't want to have those hard conversations.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, like I still am entrenched in the ape, and I've tried to get away. Oh my god, I've tried to get away, but Apex has me in a chokehold, and I think that a lot of people realize this. But Apex has me in a chokehold. I love to keep in tabs with like all the people that I know through the Apex competitive scene, and there are so many women who are just amazing competitors, competitors. And they don't get seen in these major tournaments. Instead, they're all in like, their own tournaments. They're in the women's tournaments. They might have like a Twitch Rivals tournament where they get invited by like a good friend or something like that. But like in the major like ALGS series, you see no women. Yeah. You don't see any women, and not Apex gripping you again. Listen, I tried to get away, okay? I tried. But in either case, like I feel like we should absolutely see more of these women on teams, more of these women being the men who come into these tournaments. They don't win immediately, dude. They don't win immediately. They're not amazing off the spot. They're not amazing off the rip. Okay, they go into these teams. They have major practices. They have major scrims that they do every single week. Okay, they have warm-ups that they do. They have coaches. They go through coaching constantly. All right. This is not just they wake up and they're just automatically good at the game. All right. There is an entire investment and infrastructure that goes into all of these teams. All right. And there is no reason why the reason why women aren't seen in these settings is because they're not being seen in this infrastructure. I'm just letting you know. You know, like they're not getting that same coaching. They're not being invited to the, you know, to the TSM coaching sessions, okay? And I know that there are, that there are some women in there sprinkled about, okay? But like I said, the numbers are even, dude. The numbers are pretty much even. It's 53% of men to 51% of women, okay? There's definitely enough women out there for the major teams to be able to shop and find people who are major competitors, very valid competitors, and, you know, have a desire to win. So I want to see that broken down. I want to see that broken down. I feel like that's going to be like one of the coolest things when I finally see like not even just like a woman team winning, but just a team that has like 2 women and like a guy. Like even if it's just like mixed teams, you know, just and I want to see multiple mixed teams, you know, and them dominating competitions. Because ultimately, like, they're just as good is all I have to say. So they're just as good. So, and also I also gotta say, in addition to that, like there's this entire thing about men not being able to be focused, and because there's a woman on their team, and then there's an entire discussion on that as well. And all I gotta say is y'all have copium like behind or like beyond any sort of like fucking levels imaginable, okay? Like y'all need to get it the fuck together, all right? Like it is not that serious, all right? If you can't focus just because you have a woman next to you or a woman talking as your boss or something like that, like that is absolutely a you problem, okay?
That is a you problem. You have an issue, sir.
Do you have to be invited to get a spot on the team, or are there open tryouts? So there's no open tryouts. You really kind of got to shop around. You have to shop yourself around as an open agent, and then esports organization generally will contact you. You can try to reach out to esports organizations as well with like your stats and like what you do, what you're focused on. But yeah, it's generally a very non-congruent process across the board because everybody is found in different ways. You can also just found your own esports organization and, you know, just hire people, you know, or bring people onto the team that you personally like or that you personally mesh well with as well, and then just start it from the ground up yourself, you know. So that's also fairly practical. So, but there's no like open tryouts. It's not like there's like a tryout season in football where like, you know, they're shopping for the high school kids and like, you know, the recruiter comes around and picks people up. Although I will say that it's growing to that level. It is growing to that level. There's now an HBCU esports organization founded by community. We don't have the big creator sign over here, but if you go over to like this over here, okay. Where is just chatting? Yeah, so like right over here on this scene, big creator right below. Okay, big creator, sponsored by community. All right, community is one of the organizations sponsoring the first HBCU college esports division. Very, very cool, actually. So like increasingly we're starting to see more schools develop like gaming teams. Generally in college, I don't really know about any high schools that do gaming teams, but I do know about a lot of colleges, and from there, a lot of teams will shop that. And okay, I see it. Yeah, right? Oh my God, let's make one. Let's do it. What are we gonna call it, Chico? What's the name? Shogun with the red solo cup. What are you drinking in that red solo cup? What you got in there?
So it's a mix of pink lemonade and white grape juice.
Ooh.
A little blendy blend.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know there's Hennessy in there. Actually, fun fact, I've never had Hennessy before. I've
really?
had cognac, but I've never had Hennessy. Yeah.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Henny. I'm a fan of any whiskey though. Any whiskey. Yeah, that's good. That's usually what I get whenever I'm going out to a bar. I'm like, yeah, just a glass of whiskey on ice. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's it.
I'm not a big whiskey person. But there is a good mix. If you mix Tennessee, no, it's wild turkey, honey with like it's a lemonade. You mix wild turkey honey with lemonade. That's really good.
Mmm.
So it's like this honey lemonade-y flavor. It's good.
With Hennessy,
Anyway.
you said?
No. Wild turkey whiskey.
Yeah, well, whiskey?
Honey whiskey. Yeah.
With lemonade. That's
With
interesting.
lemonade.
I feel like I might try that out. I'll report back.
Okay.
I will report back.
It's the honey that blends it really well together, because whiskey is kind of like, it's got its own little flair to it and it could be off-putting, but that honey whiskey with lemonade, for whatever reason, it blends really well.
It do sound fancy. I agree.
It sounds fancy, please.
And then just as a little side note as well, this is going to be Black Girl Gamers. I just want to send a shout out to them because they're doing major things in both the POC section and also in the Women in Gaming section. Okay, go follow them. All right, they're just about to hit 18K followers on Instagram. All right, they're probably one of the best accounts that you can follow on Twitter as well, if you want to get more in touch with the women gamer scene, the Black gamer scene. Okay, because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a ton of them and they just don't get seen. So I love how people are creating these platforms where they can elevate these people to that status. So go check it out. All right, that was a nice little section. Once again, if anybody wants to give their little notes on how they feel free to redeem that that redemption in chat. Love BGG, right? Same. I really do too. Will do. Please do. All right, on to the next story. This is humongous. So the podcast world is mad at Cast Media. All right. Cast Media is a major organization that has hired podcast talent and acts as a distributor for these podcasts. And they receive the ad revenue, and for their distribution services, they give ad revenue, or they take a portion of that ad revenue and they give it back to the podcasters as payment. Multiple creators who have left the podcast network Cast Media. Wait, that man gets on your nerves? Who? Theo Von? I don't know him. I've never actually heard him speak, so that's interesting that you say that. Cast Media say that the company owes them significant sums of money amounting to 6 or 7 figures for advertising sold on their shows. A few creators have gone public on social media, and others have individually confirmed to HotPod that the company has not paid them for several months. All right? Instead of making the delinquent payments, Cast CEO Colin Thompson formally or informally offered creators a deal where they would be paid for a partial amount of the money owed in cash and the rest in shares of Podcast One, on the condition that they sign an agreement to take their podcasts to the new company as a part of a proposed IP acquisition. Several creators told HotPod. Podcast One, a former subsidiary of Live One, has since spun out into several public company. Has since spun out into a separate public company and went live on NASDAQ last week. So, comedian Whitney Cummings, who hosts a podcast Good For You, told HotPod that she believes Cast Media owes her at least $350,000 for ad sponsorships. Ultimately, all of the people included in this Cast Media situation have stated that Cast Media owes them over $4 million. Can you imagine a person?
Like Cast Media ain't got it.
Yeah, that right. It sounds like they don't, and we have a little bit of coverage on that too. Okay, we have CoffeeZilla over here. I've been doing so much YouTube in the past week. Oh, not even the past week. For the past like 2 months, YouTube is a wealth of knowledge. I will let you know.
It is. There
is so much stuff on YouTube. YouTube is wild. But CoffeeZilla, who does quite a few like exposés, and he always has like investigative research on, you know, random things that are happening in the streaming, the live streaming, the entertainment world. He decided to do the podcast scam and invited the man right over here Colin Thompson, who was, I think, the CEO, or I don't know if he was the CEO or just the accountant. I don't know. I forget. Yeah, he is the CEO. Good. He he had him on stream to explain what exactly happened. So I just want to play through this real quick. Where the money? Exactly. Where is this money? Let's find out.
Generated better revenue for creators, paid them out more than other podcasts would necessarily be able to, because we invested heavily in an infrastructure, took an individualized approach, anecdotally.
But you're saying you pay out more, but I mean, clearly that's, kind of not true, right?
Wait, but you asked for my story. Do you mind if I just tell?
Oh, he getting defensive.
Just tell the story. We're getting to the financial difficulties. Stephen.
Sure.
You're defensive as hell. I wonder really why.
Worked. Creators benefited, made a lot more money than they would have, and many creators do have more money in their pocket now because of that. However,
stammering a lot.
During the period from February 2022 until February 2023, our unit economics changed drastically. Our revenue per download, which is an important metric for analyzing sales performance, free from content performance considerations, dropped by 58%. In other words, over the course of those 12 months, the revenue that we could generate on one download moved down by 58%,
Okay. That took.
So this man, now I didn't show you the rest of everything that he said. However, he was talking for a long time before I started that clip. And it's like 3 minutes of like rambling about how the Cast Media is such an amazing company and how they've done so much for podcasters and paid them out so much money. And like they were in such a better position because of Cast Media. However, motherfucker, like that's not the question. The question is, where the hell is the money? And he finally got to it at the end of that thing. He definitely bought an in-ground pool with wrestling. Now, actually, it's funny that you say that, Chico. It is so funny that you say that, because just in that time, February 2022, which was exactly the month in the time period that he was just referencing, saying that his revenue per download went down 58%. During that time, he bought a $1.7 million mansion.
That's crazy.
Wow. $1.7 million mansion.
That is crazy.
That ain't including taxes. All right. I'll just let you know.
Took 3 minutes to get to a real answer. And I've got to be honest, this whole conversation was about that painful. Talking to somebody who owes creators millions and he's telling you how he got them paid so much money is a little frustrating. But setting that aside, the central claim of Colin is that all of this happened because revenues dropped in 2022 and he just couldn't pay people on time. But as I spoke to people about Colin, I realized late payments weren't a new thing at all. People told me that was always the case.
Okay, you joined them in 2018.
2018.
Yeah. So when did you start getting late payments? Basically, like they didn't come when they said they were going to come. And when did you stop getting full payments?
Right away. I can answer that right away. That was
He like, I got the receipts.
Check we were supposed to get. It didn't arrive when he said.
It was never on time.
It wasn't unusual if it was like a month late, a month and a half late. And then when it goes from, all right, a month late to 2 months late to 3 months late. And then I would say, hey, where's the deposit at? I go, yep, they're trying to figure out, man. He says he has this whatever investment coming, you're gonna get this huge lump sum of money. So then that didn't come, then you're looking at, now you're looking at 4 months, like, it was the money. Then you're looking at 6 months, like, okay, man, where the hell is our money?
And then the craziest part about this is that in order for him to sign new talent onto the Cast Media roster, he was promising people these extraordinary sums just for these sign-on bonuses, like a guaranteed, doesn't matter how well your podcast does, I'm going to give you $250,000, $500,000 just for signing on with the company. And continuously doing this, I guess he was projecting that his revenues per download were not going to go down, but I'm guessing that he was guessing that they were going to go up because he was already paying people late. So I don't know how you can possibly continue to sign on more people for all these extraordinary sums when you're already in the hole. You know what I mean? But regardless, I'm sure that we will be seeing a lot more of CEO Colin Thompson in the future, and most likely in a court cam. I'm gonna guess. So
yeah, it's giving pyramid scheme and the pyramid collapsed.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
like
That is
imagine a person
wild.
like 300 for Whitney Cummings, $350,000. Imagine not getting a $350,000 payment. Like, that's not a small sum of money, dude. That is crazy. Not him writing a
And
check he
he's
can't
buying
cash.
mansions, $1 million mansions, and you owe these people. Like, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. But people
And
get away with that, and that's not okay.
it's true. People do get away with it, and like they attribute it to the company, and then they dissolve the company, and then they think that the entire, you know, yo, I'll go Queen. What's up? Thank you so much for the lurk.
What's your favorite game?
Aw, yo,
This one?
AGQ with 100 videos. Thank you so much. Let's send a little shout out. If you don't know All Go Queen, please go check her out. She is absolutely amazing. She has the littest streams probably on the entirety of Twitch. Okay, and she's always chatting it up, always laughing, always playing some sort of shooter, Call of Duty or Apex, and always just a wonderful, wonderful personality. Hope all is well, everyone. Yeah, hope all is well with you, Queen.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a nightmare, and I feel so bad for everybody who's like involved in this. But like, I feel like this is very much like what labels do. Like, I feel like I have experience with this on like the music side of things, where people will take your rights and then do a whole bunch of things with, you know, with your money, with your notoriety, with your fame, with your exposure, and then ultimately not
pay you.
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
Not-
pay.
I was just like, ugh.
Compensate. Yeah, exactly. There it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's wild. So, do you have anything else to say on that, Mr. Roni Shogun?
Honestly, I don't. I feel like it's pretty plain and cut and dry. I would say this is one of those things where it's like you really have to watch some of these companies, because the guy said he got involved in 2018. And you have to watch these companies that you affiliate yourself with, and just because they promise a bunch of money does not mean you will get it.
Yes.
And sometimes it's one of those things on the entertainment aspect. You were saying music entertainment aspect. Sometimes it's better to just say, all right, well, I would like this much money up front.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not being greedy. I feel like that's being transparent, because you cannot trust a company to pay you late, especially in the day and age where we live in, where inflation has everything from housing to groceries to healthcare going up. You know, I feel so bad for a lot of these, for the guys that, you know, had to wait months at a time, or the people that just had to wait months at a time, when I know life did not stop for them. You know what I mean? So I think it's important, if you are whether you're a streamer or whether, you know, you're working in like in any kind of company, just be very, very careful with those kind of deals where it sounds pretty much too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's just like, man, and that's hard because you don't really have a lot of I'm not super familiar with the company, but I'm sure they're still fairly new. Where it's like they don't have that much rapport, and you know, where you could go back and it's like, oh yeah, they pay their stuff on time, you know. But yeah, that's all I'll say. That's my takeaway.
That's wild. You know, like whenever there's a whole bunch of money being involved, you know that someone's gonna get greedy. All right, so yeah, you always got to be careful with these people. In addition, oh, actually, I guess I was supposed to talk about this before, but actually, we'll talk about it a little bit later. I was going to talk about energy and how they're leaving Apex roster. I was supposed to talk about while we were talking about the gender and gaming. I want to go into that, but in either case, we'll talk about that in just a moment. Twitch's global head of PR is leaving the company. This is just an important thing, just for anybody who's on Twitch. This was just from September 15th. That was last Thursday. And Samantha Fought, who was the global head of PR, she left the company. She had just gotten that role in June 2023.
Yeah.
Now, as far as her tweet to leave, she says, "Today is my last day at Twitch. It's been an incredible ride over the last 3.5 years supporting this wonderful community. Best job I've ever had, best team I've ever worked with. I'll be cheering them on from the sidelines. Thanks for everything, Twitch. Heart, heart, heart." Okay. So she was definitely in her PR bag.
Yes.
As she was leaving.
Brilliantly written. Okay. Wonderfully written. Please send me a link to who your PR people are, because we need to talk. Because not a negative thing was said, but there was a lot to be read in between those lines.
Exactly.
Oh
exactly.
my God.
Exactly. Because like, if you're the head of PR, the global head of PR, okay, this is not just like head of PR for a certain you know, region. You know, this is the global head of PR. You just reached that, you know, that status 3 months ago, 4 months ago. All right.
Yeah.
And then you're just gonna leave and just say peace and like, yeah, that's it. And like, I mean, there's clearly something that happened. Maybe she wasn't agreeing with the way that the company was going, which I feel like we've all been in a sort of, everybody who's a live streamer anyway, has all been in a sort of like, what is Twitch doing right now? Like, what exactly is going on? You know, and then we also have all of the things with the 95-5 split coming from Kick. Then we also have the 70-30 split coming from YouTube. And then we also have all these other new streaming websites and new streaming avenues that are starting to encroach upon Twitch. TikTok, you know, I'm even starting to see people go live on Instagram with the gaming. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's surprising. Facebook is still live as well. And Twitch has been extremely, extremely stubborn with budging even a millimeter on their previous terms and conditions, which has, you know, been a thing since what? When was Twitch? Like 2013, 2014?
I want to say 2014, 2015. Because before then it was Justin TV or something like that.
Yeah,
But,
it was Justin
and the
TV.
only budget that we've seen is with partners, right? They're 730 split, with partners getting up to, they have to get like 350 subs, and they cannot be gift subs. They have to be people literally clicking on the sub themselves and paying that money. And they have to hold that for 3 months.
Yes.
So you have to hold 350 subs verbatim, like of the person subscribing, for 3 months, and then they'll give you a 70-30 split, which is like, it seems very, very Twitch made sure that they're going to make their money, which isn't very fair, or it doesn't really put the streamer first when streamers are the ones, you know, propping up this platform. And honestly, with what the not CEO, but this is the she's the head of PR. This kind of shows me, when I saw this tweet, I was like, well, where there's smoke, there's fire. So even though she left, or the tweet seems as if she's leaving on really, really good terms, my question is, where's the fire at on Twitch? And it's like, we're seeing the precursors, and we're seeing little spotty things from being a person on the app and who uses Twitch very heavily. We're seeing parts of it, but it's like, okay, well, we haven't gotten to the source of the issue. And that's really concerning and disheartening. Especially after, like, you know, in 2019, 2020, Twitch was saying, we're going to do better. We really want to think about our content creators. And it's like, well, here are all these other platforms and apps who are fairly new compared to Twitch. And they care, or seemingly, you know, because I'm not as heavily involved, I don't know as much on the inside about those apps and things, but it's like, seemingly outside looking in, they seem to care more about their content creators than you do, Twitch. So what's real?
Yeah, I mean, and also on what Show was talking about, this is from June, when Twitch decided to add, Twitch was under heavy fire from, you know, everybody saying like, hey, we want more of the cut of our subs. Like, honestly, and when it comes to it, like, why do they deserve 50% of the sub revenue that we receive when they aren't providing an algorithm that will push people to our stream, which is very, very questionable in the first place. But I feel like, when it was first introduced, it was like, oh yeah, we'll totally do that because it is the only venue to go through in order to live stream. Plus you already have, the infrastructure necessary in order for us to, stream the games that we want and attract an audience that we would like, but in either case, in June, they were under fire. They announced that they will have a new program that lets some streamers keep 70% of the revenue they generate through Twitch's move. Come several caveats. The 70-30 split will apply to streamers' net subscription revenue from recurring monthly subscription and gift subs. But once 100,000 is netted, the split will revert to 50-50. So only for the first 100K. The program will launch October 1st, with qualifying streamers needing to maintain at least 350 recurring paid subscriptions. Recurring paid subscriptions. They cannot be gifted. They have to be paid by the person receiving the subscription, and it cannot be Prime. So you might have 800 subs, but because you had like 10 gifters gifting like 50 subs each, it's not going to count.
Yeah.
And also
it's such a weird prerequisite and condition.
Yeah.
That it's like only a small margin of people are going to be able to do that, and it's going to be people that are already well established.
Yeah.
Extremely well established,
And then extremely well established. Exactly. It only applies to like, I think someone did the math, and it only applies to like 2% of partners or something like that. That actually achieve this level of
that look is wild.
Oh my lord. But and then, in addition, they will automatically enroll in the program for 1 year if eligibility is met, and will stay enrolled in program if they fail to maintain the 350 threshold. So like there is a little bit of leeway. It's sort of like once you get your partner check, they're not going to take away your partner check. But just to get that 350 monthly subscription average is a feat in itself.
Like, yeah. On top of the fact that what was it? It was something in there. This hasn't even happened yet. This goes live next month. In the next 12 days, this will be live. And I know people are trying to kind of push for that to be the norm for them. And I'm like, this really should not be. Twitch makes more than enough money, on top of the fact that Twitch is making money off of the ad revenue, right? And that was supposed to be an incentive to make more money for streamers, and it's not a very good incentive. It's just like Twitch is so far out of touch from their content creators and from the people that are actually bringing traffic to this website, that they really don't care. They just see streamers and content creators as dollar signs and ad revenue as more dollar signs, as to not an opportunity to build with the people on the app. And that's what's really frustrating.
Because they like Twitch has a great built-in community for competitive gaming. That's where it ends. Okay. Other than that, IRL streaming was created by the streamers itself. Like the streamers brought people in for IRL streaming. Other than that, like pool and bathtub streaming, like they brought the people in for pool and bathtub streaming. Plus, gamers are generally, they're thirsty as fuck. So of course that was like a natural thing for anybody who's not watching the competitive shit. Okay, I'm gonna watch the pool and bathtub shit instead. Okay, now, but like
down bad streaming,
right? But like when it comes to like, for example, like when it comes to variety streamers, that is like the toughest work on this goddamn platform, period. Whether you are like a cozy streamer or a variety streamer, if you don't touch the competitive stuff, you are doing so much work, and almost all of your viewership is going to be from your own means. From you reaching out on Instagram, from you reaching out on Facebook, from you having a pre-built audience on one of those platforms, from you going onto TikTok. TikTok is like that is like the main way of people getting viewership now. It's from TikTok. It's all from TikTok, because TikTok actually has an algorithm, and Twitch finally allowed us to go live on TikTok and Twitch at the same time. So like that is like the only thing that's actually bringing people into your stream. So why is Twitch deserving of such a huge split of the revenue when you are the one who's advertising for the site at that point? They're not advertising for you, you're advertising for the site. So
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what Twitch's mindset is on this, but I've been saying this for a long time. They're going to be seeing a huge hit to their base, to their user base, to their subscriber base, to their viewership, if they continue to not budge on this, because the landscape is changing, and that's just a plain fact. Also,
and I feel like they've experienced some of that with things like TikTok and Instagram becoming its own kind of streaming, not Instagram fully becoming a streaming service, but and everything from, I remember with the pandemic, there was a lot of what was it? There was a influx of people going on to Twitch and going on to the internet. And now as we're moving away from, even though we're still in the middle of a pandemic, now that people are trying to go back to some sense of normalcy and returning to their jobs and not so much at their computers and on the internet, now Twitch is kind of hurting because they're not seeing that revenue as much, and people are going to other places where they're making more money and be giving more visibility and opportunity. So yeah, they should definitely be adjusting their financial perspective for their content creators in order to see that.
Yeah.
And I'll touch on this, and then I'm going to shut up. But
No
I
problem.
find it very interesting that last year we didn't have a September. This year, September has come back. But where is the Fairy Mod Mother at? Hello? Fairy Mod Mother been missing, giving out the free subs and the promotion,
she left the building
and the talk and stuff. Somebody check on Fairy Mod Mother Twitch. Okay, what did you do to her? Where are you hiding, Fairy Mod Mother? Because something is up. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna touch on.
That is so true. Do y'all think the guilds will help to get more streamer opinion to Twitch? I do think that the guilds, the ambassadorship, I think it's all beautiful. I think it's wonderful. However, I do not think that they are attacking the problem at hand. They're essentially, I feel like the guilds are offering more viewership to audiences that possibly would not get that viewership. However, at the same time, we're still getting paid the same, and I feel like that is number one, the thing that people are going to be looking at and determining. Say, a person, we're getting all these kids who are growing up on all these wild streamers nowadays, and they want to be streamers themselves. When they pull up and they finally get their streaming set up, they turn 18, they're getting out of high school, they're like, wow, I really want to do this. They're gonna look first and foremost at how much are they going to get paid to do this, and at this very moment, I will tell you right now, Kick is winning. Period. Kick is winning. Now, Kick is winning over Twitch. I do think that YouTube still has the best longevity out of all of them, because YouTube, I don't think can ever die. YouTube's video infrastructure as it is so well done and so well placed in the collective mindset and the collective culture. Like, you just say YouTube it, it's just like Google. It's just, and that's actually why Google bought YouTube. But like, it's just like something that you automatically say now. You don't say watch a video on Vimeo. Like, who says that? Who goes and says like watch a video on Dailymotion? Like, no, you're saying go to YouTube. Like, just YouTube it. So I feel like YouTube will never die. Their live streaming service definitely needs some work. The visibility of live streams is very difficult to navigate on YouTube, but I believe that they'll work through that. I think that the one thing that Twitch needs to do and has needed for the longest time, and it would solve all of these issues, is for our clips to be discoverable and for them to have their own search algorithm. If that would happen, then everything is fixed. Everything is fixed. People would go onto Twitch. They would look for clips. It wouldn't just be, oh, let's look for a live stream. You would look for, maybe the popular clips of the day. You would, go to your favorite streamer and see what new clips that they created from the stream that you weren't able to catch last night. and you would be able to promote these things, and it would provide a whole new avenue of discoverability that would then lead people to your live stream. And they have the infrastructure for that already, because we've had clips for how many years now? And I just don't understand why they just don't make them discoverable. When I go into a clip, and I've been talking about this forever, for like months and months and months and months and years and months and years, months and years. So when you go into a clip and you enjoy your friend, okay? You enjoy, I'm watching Rurouni Shogun's, you're watching Show's clips, okay? I'm watching Show's clips, I'm watching Jealous's clips, okay? And I'm really loving, I love this one clip where, like, I don't know, Show, eats a cookie. So I watch Show's clip. Immediately after Show's clip, it will then throw me into, like, XQC dancing or yelling on fucking stream about something that he's reacting to, and then it'll show me this like super ultra popular Spanish streamer who's streaming Roblox and like is, you know, speaking in a language that I don't even understand. I don't even understand what the fuck this motherfucker is saying. And like, I all of a sudden get sent over to that clip. And then after that, it gets sent over to Shroud. It's like, what are you doing? Like, do you not, like, I don't understand. Like, why? These are completely unrelated. Like, why don't we have discoverability on these clips? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
It's there's no sense of
I'm sorry.
Activity. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, because we all know that the major form of video content that is consumed and shared nowadays is short form. When you're streaming, that is not going to be short form. No one does a short form stream. No one does a 10-minute stream. Streams are like an hour and a half at the very least, okay? Hour to an hour and a half, and then they go on, you know, people will stream for like 24. I don't recommend doing any 24-hour streams. Please, like, take care of yourself.
Do yourself in the world and your computer a favor and stream between 2 to 5 hours.
Yes.
Get your ass off.
And then
go eat something.
Take a fucking break.
Okay.
No, I need to listen to that too, because I stream for like 8 hours at a time. So like, I need to like calm down sometimes. So I need to listen to that too.
Love you, Kyle. You need to eat. You need to eat something. Okay. Yo,
HVG, what's up? I know my body is
make sure
screaming.
y'all eat something today. Okay. Y'all don't take away nothing else. Go eat.
Boots up 12-hour stream. Come get me, Shogi. Shogi be knocking at the door. Knock. Excuse me.
Turn the stream off.
Turn it off.
Turn the stream off. Go to bed. Tired. But what were we talking about? What was this topic? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to come back.
We were just talking about the live stream landscape and short form videos, clips, algorithm for clips. If we could just have a proper algorithm and discoverability for clips.
It's leaving my mind and I'm angry, but like, just I guess discoverability on Twitch as a whole needs to be, and they're trying to change stuff, but they're not changing it fast enough. I feel like they're concerned. I feel like they're comfortable with making money. That's what it is. Twitch is more comfortable with making money than making people more discoverable. And what's frustrating about that is, in order to change it, we have to disrupt the main thing that they're focused on.
Yeah.
From being discoverable to, you know, and I remember a couple years back, the thing was, it wasn't even about discoverability. It was about safety for people of color and LGBTQ and women, because people were getting harassed by hate raids, you know? And Twitch didn't really do anything. They just were like, we're going to come up with some means to help you guys. Like, you know, it was the fake apology. It's like, we hear you. We see you, and we see the shit you're going through, and we're not going to do anything as long as we're making money. And then they came out with shield mode, which was like a band-aid on top of like a sword slash of a wound. But the community ended up fixing it, you know?
Yeah.
I think Siri bot and all these other things. So in order for us to,
which is really amazing, because Twitch has how much money, and then we have like independent developers just like, okay, I'll do it, and then they just do it in like 5 days. Like, I don't understand.
Twitch has their money and our money, and they still didn't do a damn thing. Like,
and left, right? What? Jealous.
Like, it's crazy. But yeah, so I feel like we're going to have to affect their bottom line in order to see actual legitimate change on the app faster, at least.
Yeah, and in addition, I do want to talk about what Jealous typed into chat before, where she said about Samantha, right? Is that her name? What was her name? Samantha, yeah, Samantha Fault leaving. She was saying that it's got to be of her own volition. That's not enough time to fully review for a performance issue. Exactly, it's not even. It's hardly 3 months. And then Show said, I think she did leave of her own volition, but I think she might see something concerning Twitch's trajectory that she doesn't want to have her name attached to it. That's how I'm feeling too, because you don't really reach
get out of Dodge.
Yeah, you don't reach that level of I'm the head of this entire department globally, and I'm just gonna peace. Like I'm just gonna leave. You know, y'all are great people. Bye. Like it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, just like with businesses don't do things for free. They do things about their bottom line. They do things that are going to make them profit in some way or shape or form. And it's the same way that, you know, people who operate in these high level business positions, they operate the same exact way. You know, I'm not going to stay here because I don't see a future here for XXX reason. We don't necessarily know what the reason is, but we can make some assumptions. We can definitely make some assumptions. Yeah, most people for global business are groomed. Yes, that is true. And usually it's some sort of nepotism role. I'm just gonna usually, but
my biggest question for that is why didn't she see that before? She may have been brought in to be a fall person.
That's true.
Fall guy, and she might. And I'm just speculating. This is all allegedly, assumption. Okay, don't come at me down. Okay, but I just feel like there's something permeating amongst the higher up of these companies that she may have caught a whiff of or seen a glimpse of, and she got enough sense to say, I don't want to be the PR for this. I'm leaving. Because imagine, let's speculate for speculation's sake.
Chico.
Let's say with all the things going on with Twitch, with them, talking about hemorrhaging money and trying to, also Twitch cut a lot of people earlier this year. They cut like what was it? At least half of their staff.
I didn't know that.
Sure did. So there's something.
Oh yeah, 400 employees.
Yeah. There's something amiss here that's going on, and to me, outside looking in and dealing with, like, not dealing with these companies firsthand, but seeing how these companies operate and a lot of companies treat people, there's something that she does not want to be involved in. Just the way that she stated her tweet was very telling too.
Yeah.
There was a lot that wasn't said in what she said. So
exactly. Like you're skipping over an entire why. We don't have any sort of why, and when you don't mention why, that omission is glaring. Absolutely glaring when you've only had that position for 3 months, and that's such a prestigious position of a major multi-billion-dollar company. So what's going on? What happened? So
girl, let us know so we can leave too. Okay?
Right? Tell us.
Not bad.
Listen, just send me the email. I don't care. Send me and Show the email, okay? And include Jealous in there too, and Queen, okay? Everybody else don't matter. Don't matter.
CC everybody. Just leak it if you have to.
Also, just about this as well, Show was talking about this before the show started. Kick has just introduced a creator program as well, which is a lot more lenient than Twitch. However, still is a little bit interesting to me. So with the creator program incentive with Kick, this is, I don't know if this. It's announced on October. Kick already announced that their second wave of creators titled Phase 2 class will be announced on October 1st. So they're already doing this program.
They're directly competing with Twitch. That's crazy. They said, oh, that's cute. Well, this is what we gonna do. Wow.
And now, for them, they still do have subscriptions. However, they do include gifted subscriptions in here. And it's just an average CCV that they ask for, which is 126 30-day average CCV, which honestly still is tough, but a lot more practical than Twitch's. A lot more practical.
Still is tough, yes, and more. I don't know. I don't
BCC
necessarily, I don't necessarily operate in the realm of Kick because I have my suspicions about Kick too.
Yeah.
But I feel like there may be more discoverability, there may be a more availability, but also, you know, you'll probably get harassed on Kick. And I've never streamed on Kick. I'm allegedly assumption allegedly. You know, it's like, but I feel like with Kick's how they're marketing, that might be very possible. If you're already an established streamer like you are, Kyle, you already have your aesthetics, you have your brand, you know what you want, rather than somebody who's just getting started the day of when they're on Twitch. You might be more successful. You might be able to have 100 to 150 people on Kick for 30 days, and even then, that isn't a lot more. Like you said, it's a lot easier to do. Or if you're on Twitch and then you migrate over to Kick or something like that, you have a community that you could bring over. That is such a better deal. And if I was Twitch, I would look at that and somehow find a way to steal it, remix it, flip it, and reverse it. You know, like I would try and find a way to see what my competitors are offering and make a better deal, rather than, because what these people are doing is they're looking at what Twitch is doing. And they're like, oh, we could definitely undermine that because that's nearly impossible for people. Let's do something more achievable. You know?
I mean, I think the first thing is, now also I do want to say, Jealous says their values haven't been defined enough for me. I agree with that. And I think that you can clearly see that by the people that they're offering contracts. And like half of the people that have been offered contracts on Kick are like literally banned from Twitch. So like that says something overall. Oh, you want to say it? You can go on.
This allegedly assumption no allegedly, but you know how the casinos have been hacked recently, the MGM casinos have been hacked. What if that's somehow involved with allegedly assumption allegedly, you know, these people on Kick with the casinos and the marketing, and they need the money to pay people on Kick. Honestly, I figured out allegedly assumption allegedly ransom assumption allegedly. Like, what if that's the case? But anyway,
I mean, it is very sus how they're getting their funding. No one really knows. It is a major black box. No one. It's just somehow the money is getting to the creators, and no one knows how it's really. And
allegedly assumption alleged.
A 95-5 split. Now, in addition, like, you know, there is some viewership on Kick. I know Tiger said there is fewer users on Kick compared to Twitch, but have you seen Aiden Ross's streams? Aiden Ross,
know who that is.
I will refrain from giving my opinion on Aiden Ross, okay? However, the man streams, so like I think his average is like 30,000-40,000 each stream.
That's a lot of people. I don't even want that many people watching me. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. Give me 1 second. I'm going to turn my fan on really quickly. Allegedly.
I don't know if I can't really see it. I can't really see it on here. But in either case, and now not only that, but like he still streams to these people, and he's already violated Kick's TOS like twice. And for some reason, they just don't ban him, which is simply because he's providing viewership for the platform. But like when it comes to that, it is very, very sus. Like what exactly their morals as a company is. Is it just for the money? Because that's really what it's looking like. It's just for the money. It's just for the possibility of gambling streams, which I'm, you know, like, I mean, it is sponsored by Stake. Stake.com is essentially, you know, giving, you know, the money to provide for all of the infrastructure on Kick. So it's spurious on how long these funds are going to last and if it's a sustainable business model. But it seems to be working as it's going right now, you know.
Also, I'll say I'm very skeptical of things like Kick, because I remember a few years ago there was a site as well that, you know, was MIXER, and you know, they promises, you know, and they were backed by a very, very popular brand, a Microsoft, if you will, and all of a sudden, literally overnight, they were like, and this is shut down. You know, so I'm very skeptical as, I'm very skeptical as to where that can happen again. In the day and age that we live in, where companies are writing people off and things just where money is no longer just sustaining servers and things like that, the same thing can happen. And the same thing can happen for Twitch too. I'm not going to put all my eggs in that one Twitch basket, but I've seen this play before, so to say. Because Mixer was doing a very big, oh, you should come over to Mixer and it's a lot better over here. And that might be the case. It's better for you, but they weren't able to sustain it. So I'm kind of waiting to see if Kick has any longevity to it even then, you know?
You know what I think, though? I think that when it came to Mixer, Mixer was taking a lot of streamers that were involved in the competitive scene. And that competitive scene does not budge easily. All right? Now, Kick is taking all of the creators from the RRL scene. And those IRL people are chaotic as fuck. They will go wherever the chaos goes. All right? So
that is true.
I feel like that's like
vacuum.
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It sucks a moon.
And a ladder.
So
you watch Game of Thrones. And a ladder. IRL streamers scare me. They scare me too. Chico.
They're wild, dude. They're doing so much stuff, and like in that respect, Kick's branding is a lot stronger than Microsoft Mixer's branding, because Mixer couldn't take that market. They couldn't. They were just not going to take the competitive game market. It was just impossible. It was too ingrown into that Justin TV brought to Twitch. You know, so I feel like they're starting off in a more malleable market, which is why they're seeing such growth. However, like what you were saying, is that market sustainable? Is that a practical? Like I was saying, these people have all been banned off of Twitch. They've been banned off of other platforms. Some of them have even been banned off of YouTube and off of like Twitter. So like, how are their morals going to weather the storm if these are the people that they're promoting as the head of that branding, you know? So I don't know, but that's the story. That's the story. So do you have anything else to say before we move on?
Potentially one more topic.
Okay.
Just doing a time check.
No problem.
But no, I don't have anything else to say on that. I feel like we allegedly, assumption covered that very well.
Just more on competitive gaming. NRG is the latest, joining G2, Cloud9, and others, ending their Apex Legends roster after feeling a $60,000 branding deal. This is about sort of relating to the competitive esports that we were talking about with gender in gaming. And then in addition with Twitch and how they are such big promoters of the competitive gaming market. This is very, very interesting because Apex Legends is one of the most popular, if not, it could arguably be one of the most popular in competitive scenes as far as the competitive market goes. And their major teams, the major esports teams, are leaving Apex simply because they're blaming EA for not supporting esports. Quickly, just going through it. Apex has been out for 5 years now. The major teams go through rigorous trials and tribulations as they go through all of the tourneys to reach ALGS, Apex Legends, the Grand Championships. And in order for them to make more money off of the sport, and actually kind of just to be sustainable in the sport, they request that their branding be placed into in-game cosmetics, and they will receive a cut of those cosmetic sales, you know, back to the company. EA, very much like Twitch, is just not budging, and they will not give these esports organizations the money that they want. You know, they just want like a cut, a flat revenue cut of the sales that go towards their cosmetics. And then EA decided to rebut that with a $60,000 flat licensing fee. So that means that they're just going to pay a sports team $60,000, which is pennies, honestly, in the
Right.
in the digital world, and pay the team $60,000, and then take their branding and then sell whatever they can, and then just they take all the cut from the revenue of the sales, and the teams just get $60,000. The teams were not going to take that. Inside the breakdown, it actually goes through a little bit more, and it says that EA and Respawn eventually decided to offer the team $60,000. Where's the part? EA came back after the teams rejected this offer with a revised offer based on sales performance instead of a flat licensing fee. The 3 orgs whose skins sold the most would get $160,000. The next 3 would get $120,000, and the next 6 would get $80,000, and the bottom 8 would get $60,000. And there still was no revenue sharing included. So once again, this is the big story about Goliath being extremely freaking stubborn and just like vice grip on the cash and not letting go, which is wild. But I guess that's business,
There's 2 things here I kind of see. Me personally, again, I don't play Apex competitively. I don't play Apex like that. Okay, I played Apex a couple times, then uninstalled that motherfucker. Sorry, that. Okay.
Listen, I curse. Like I said, I curse way too much. You can curse on this stream, okay?
I'm trying to do better.
Also, hi, PH3.
But they are.
I agree,
like
King.
EA is very greedy. EA is extremely greedy, but also I feel like they might be missing the forest for the trees, because not EA, but these companies. I don't think they should have taken the 60,000, but that deal that the EA offered for the winners and stuff like that. For the what was it? Whoever made the most money on their skins, and usually the people that make the most money are going to be the winning team. I feel like they should have taken that second offer. I feel like that would have been a good thing to kind of, all right, this is how much we got them to budge. And then once they realize, okay, EA's making money, because what you want to do is you want to have a way where EA realizes, oh, them having skins in the game is actually a good idea. Because what's that going to do? That's going to make EA realize, oh, if we make more skins, more people are going to pay us money. So then they come back next year for a bigger deal. I don't think they should have taken the 60,000 flat out, because that's really fucked up. But EA can absolutely do that secondary offer. Now, I personally feel like they probably are. That shows me, one, and again, I'm just a little black boy streamer here on Twitch. Like, be willing to fight for your worth. Absolutely. And I feel like it's not discussed enough, the money. And when you're getting these offers with these companies and these businesses and all this stuff, like, there's no back and forth. There's no actual discussion. They just want to tell you what you're worth when you know your worth. You know how hard you work. You know how much, effort and energy and blood, sweat, and tears you put into your craft, whether you're designing something or whether you're playing a game, a competitive game. You are working hard, and ask for your worth and know your worth. But also don't completely, I feel like, the fact that they didn't, and if they negotiate something else, awesome, they get a better deal, great. But I feel like don't be greedy. Also, we know EA is EA cares more about the profit margin than they do about the people playing the games, than the players. But I think the fact that EA came back with I think that was a really good deal for something that's like the first time they're doing that. I think that could have been feasible. And then once EA sees, oh, there's people actually buying these skins and stuff like that, they'd want to do that again. And then that's when you hit them with and now we want 500,000.
Well, the thing is, though, that I actually agree with the teams. I'm siding with the teams on this one, because when it comes to it, like the 160,000 that they would get for selling the most skins, quote unquote, like that is still chump change. The prize pool for the ALGS this year was $2 million. All right, $2 million. That's just going to the winners of whoever won that cup. That's not just the first place people, but of course all of the prize pool. So that's
the winners. And so like first, second, third.
I believe it goes to the 5th team, I want to say. Oh, wow. I believe even the 5th team and the 4th team get money as well.
Okay,
but I might be wrong. But yes, all of the winners combined get $2 million. And then in addition, like even in the article, it says that for context, tier 1 orgs. Now this is a sort of deal that goes on between all of the major games. So like this is any game that has like a major competitive tournament, Fortnite, you know, when it comes to Call of Duty, PUBG. So for context, tier 1 orgs, particularly in North America, can make $1 million or more per sponsorship deal per year. So to look at $60,000, that's like, the fuck is that? And then 160,000 is just like, it's still like, kind of what the fuck is that? If anything, I believe that they should get, you know, a revenue split, but it should be maybe on the lower side, you know, instead of a 50-50 revenue split with minimum guarantees, maybe a 25-75 split with minimum guarantees. You know, it should depend on the sales of that item. I don't think it should just be a flat fee that's given to these people, and a flat fee that would definitely be under the amount that they would get if they were getting any sort of revenue split, you know? So I kind of feel for the teams in this situation, and I just feel like EA is very similar to, you know, a lot of other companies that we're seeing at the very moment, where they're just, you know, vice grip on the money, and they just do not want to let go. And I feel like this is going to hurt EA in the long run. This decision for them to not offer revenue split to the major competitive teams is going to hurt in the long run, because the competitive teams don't necessarily keep a game alive. However, they spur the major people who are, you know, the biggest names that you get out of these games. You know, the as much as I don't want to mention, but the Nick Mercs of the game, you know, like the It's Timmys of the game, the Shrouds of the game, the Imperial Howls of the game, you know, like they are the ones that have the most social clout when it comes to promoting the game. And it's not like everyone who plays the game watches them. However, it's the most dedicated people who watch them, and that dedication transfers through to actual sales in game. So I think that that's going to hurt their overall esports presence in the long run. And, you know, they're going to have less competition. Essentially, they're going to have less competition in the organizational space, in the esports org space that want to partake. Already, there's been I want to say 5 teams that's left. There's G2, Cloud9, Energy. Oh, I'm forgetting what the other ones are. There's let's see. Hold on. I can't remember. Either way. Oh, and I just changed the. Oop, my bad.
I'm on another screen.
Y'all didn't see that.
We're just getting started, everyone. Welcome in. We just started. But I think, like, for that though, I feel like, because then there's the thing of, what if nobody buys your skins? What if no one actually cares about, you know, the skins, and they're just still playing Apex? Or, you know, the skins aren't the skins given away in like booster thingies? Like you could spin to win a skin or something like that. In the little pyramid thingy majiggers. So what if no one actively goes to, you know, spend money on the skins and things like that? Like, there's a guarantee that you walk away still with some money on top of the.
Well, that's the thing.
Like
You would still get, like, even if there's revenue sharing, like, there's still like minimum guarantees. So, like, for example, in Valorant, they do that. They give favorable revenue sharing for teams, no buy-in, and they guarantee yearly stipends to partner teams. Same thing with like CS:GO. They share 25% of total revenue with teams. So, like, I feel like, you know, 50-50 may be a little bit too high on that scale, but, you know, rebut with something that's still in that same ballpark, you know, 25%, 20%, 15%, I don't know, something that is still, you know, practical, so that anybody who's making sales will still be able to feel each sale that's made, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
That's just, that's kind of how I feel about it. And, you know, it's kind of ridiculous that EA is not investing they're investing $0 and 0 cents into these major organizations taking part in their competitive scene. So, you know, see, it's not surprising to see all these teams leave, but it is very shocking that, you know, like the major teams can't make any headway with these negotiations. You know, like Energy introduced me to so many people. Energy introduced me to ACU. Energy introduced me to Dizzy. Energy introduced me to Nathan. And you might not know these names, but like they're all.
I do not, but I know Energy through Smite. But
okay, yeah.
I recognize the team name via Smite, but yeah, I understand the sentiment though. Very much so.
But yeah, so hype on. But yeah, it's wild. So, and I just, you know, I hope that they can do something to remedy their inherent greediness, because, you know, I love to watch the game. I still play the game. I want to cast for the game. I really do, actually. I'm looking for casting opportunities in Apex right now. So
I know that's right.
You know, we out here schmooving.
Okay.
But yeah. So that's an interesting one. Do you want to stick around just for the Unity discussion?
Yeah, let's do that.
So because this is the other major story that we have for today. So Unity had a humongous snafu during this week. Unity made an announcement that they'll be adding fees to their largest downloads, and they said that for every installation, there will be a 20-cent fee paid to the Unity engine as a royalty. This goes completely against their previous TOS, which said that Unity would remain free. People appropriately have gone crazy about it, and this move is very harsh to indie developers who develop a game that grows in popularity while not having that much of a budget and not having that much of a revenue producing agenda, because they can literally lose money on just producing a game for the people. So this has been humongous. Do I actually not have the link for the Unity tweet? I don't.
I have the Megacrit tweet, and I see the. Hold on.
Yeah. I know I had it somewhere.
Got deleted.
No, it didn't. I know. No. Either way, I could just search it up.
Yo, what Cult of the Lamb posted is crazy though.
I know, right?
What?
People went crazy on Unity.
What? It's wild.
So
yeah.
Okay, yes. So here we go.
Okay.
So on September 12th, Unity put out this tweet. Today, we announced a change to our business model, which includes new additions to our subscription plans and the introduction of a runtime fee. We wanted to provide clarifying answers to the top questions most of you are asking. So yes, this is a price increase. So for anybody that doesn't know, anybody who's an indie developer on Unity, if you're creating something just for like class or for your own personal project, it is free. If you're producing something that is going to be sold, you have to get a pro seat, which is $1,500. And then after that, there is like an enterprise edition for like $4,000 to $3,000, $4,000 a year, which is
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, per seat, which is, you know, per person who's working on this thing, which is pretty crazy. But that's for like the major developers who are doing who are making games. But usually at minimum, you're paying $1,500 to Unity for the year, and then you're creating the game that you want to create. Previously, you would have no royalty on your downloads, but then now Unity said that after $1 million in revenue, that you would be getting a 20-cent fee for each additional install. So, or not $1 million in revenue. After 1 million installs, you will get 20 cents per additional install. So today, a large majority of Unity editor units are currently not paying anything and will not be affected by this change. Unity runtime fee will not impact the majority of our developers. That's what they love to say. That's what major companies love to say. It's not really going to hurt you. Don't worry.
You'll be fine.
Trust us.
You'll be fine. Everything's going to be okay.
Wait, let me see. Thank God it's free for classes. A lot of these professors will make you use a program that's not free. Yeah, I know, right? And usually, like, the professor had made the program too. So they're double dipping. Anyway, so the developers will be interactive, or generally those who have successful games and are generating... Uh-oh, my mouse just died.
Those of you that has successful games. So either you're successful or you fail, mind you.
That is true. Let's get my mouse
Not
plugged
them
in.
calling their people trash. Like, well, you couldn't make a good game anyway. So,
So yeah, it wouldn't affect you. So this is saying that it will be clear. We want to be clear that the counter for Unity runtime fee installs starts on January 1st, 2024. It is not retroactive or perpetual. We will charge once for a new install, not an ongoing perpetual license royalty like revenue share. We look for ways to lessen the impact on developers and provide ways to bring the runtime fee to zero. If you're using any of our ad products, Unity gaming services, or cloud services, please contact us to discuss discounts. So the issue is, although they're saying that the install fee is not retroactive, okay, so it's not. So say for example you sold 1 million fees, or you 1 million downloads of your game has already been downloaded, and say 500,000 copies has been downloaded by January 1st. Those 500,000 are not going to be charged. However, you will continuously be charged from that January 1st period onward for every continuous install. So it doesn't retroactively charge you fees, but it does retroactively change the TOS that you signed when you created the game. And people are furious about it. And understandably so. For example, like, there's Among Us, who's like major on there, who would be affected. Cult of the Lamb has come out with a tweet about it. Megacrit, who makes Slay the Spire, has talked about it. And they were planning for their newest game to be released on Unity. However, they're saying that now they have to think about it, because if they are looking to produce a game that is going to be reaching these levels of success, then your revenue model has to reflect that. And this is something that no one even predicted before. So
it's almost like a betrayal. Like, we trusted you because
you
said this, and we're already paying you so much for this, and now you want more.
It is.
And that's what's interesting. These companies are not afraid to ask for, and not even ask, to take more from the creators and from the makers and from the players. But as soon as the players and the developers push back or state their claims as to what they're worth, there's an issue. There's a disconnect and something wrong there.
And it's actually like a pretty substantial fee too, because like say you make $100,000, or you sell 100,000 copies, and this is not based on however much your game is priced. So say you have a free game, okay, and it sold 100,000 copies over the $1 million limit. People have downloaded it over that amount of times. Then you're going to literally be charged $20,000 without receiving any revenue because you decided to release a free game.
Yeah.
Plus you already paid for the $1,500. Plus when you created the game, you didn't have these fees in mind. So what Megacrit said, the Megacrit team has been hard at work for these past 2+ years on a new game, but unlike with Slay the Spire, the engine we have been developing it in is in Unity. The retroactive pricing structure of runtime fees is not only harmful in a myriad of ways of developers, especially indies, it is also a violation of trust. We believe Unity is fully aware of this, seeing as they have gone so far as to remove their TOS from GitHub, which is even more crazy. Silently. Reddit
go ahead and get rid of this, a sleight of hand, if you will. That's crazy.
Like,
that's so shady.
Without saying a word, they removed this GitHub repo, which if anybody is not a developer, doesn't understand what these things are. GitHub is a way to provide, previous instantiations of things, of code, of many other things. And they have their GitHub repo on, they have the repo hosted on GitHub so that they can have transparency, according to the company. Back in the day, apparently, because the transparency is now gone, because they updated their license to remove the clause that lets you use the TOS from the version you shipped with. All right. And then insists games already shipped need to pay their fees. So Just listen to this. After the previous controversy with license changes in 2019, after disagreements with Improbable, Unity updated their terms of service with the following statement: when you obtain a version of Unity and don't upgrade your project, we think you should be able to stick to that version of the TOS. As part of their commitment to being an open platform, they made a GitHub repository that tracks changes to the Unity terms to give developers full transparency about what changes are happening and when. And then sometime around June last year, they silently deleted it. April 3rd this year, they updated
Not
their
my birthday.
Oh no.
That's
Not the
crazy.
the
Not
silent
shady things
shade to
happening on my birthday.
right. The shade to show too.
Yeah.
So on April 3rd, they updated their terms of service to remove the clause that was added after the 2019 controversy. The clause was as followed. Unity must update these Unity software additional terms at any time for any reason and without notice. And those updated terms will apply to the most recent current year version of the Unity software, provided that if the updated terms adversely affect your rights, you may elect to continue and use any current year versions of that Unity software. They took that shit out. They were like, they took it out. The clause is completely missing. So this is no longer full transparency because they didn't say shit about it when they deleted it. And now there's no even reference to the changes that have happened to the to the Unity terms of service. It's now gone, which is wild. It's just such a clear violation of trust, which is like, hey, we want to do this so that we're trustworthy, and then they completely delete it. It's absolutely wild, absolutely wild. So
are you trustworthy then? Like, no, you're not. Shady shit.
So now beyond that, even beyond that, Unity is charging per install. This is not per sale. This is not a revenue share. Okay, so like for example, the next closest developing platform is going to be Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5 charges a little bit less for their seating, but then they charge a 5% fee per sale. So this is based on revenue. It doesn't have anything to do with installs. It's just based on how many copies you've sold, which is understandable. Generally, this comes out to much more money than what Unity's fee of 20 cents per install is. But that is in like the most optimal conditions, because how in the world do you track how many installs you have? You can easily track.
That's crazy.
Right. You can easily track
wild.
how much revenue you've made. You can see how many copies you've sold, but how do you track what the installs are? And in addition, there's not just installs from the Epic Game Store, which is, you know, the that's Unity's platform essentially. It's not just from the Epic Game Store. Like there's charity bundles, you know, there's pirating. There's you know, the one, like I was saying before, there's free games, you know, that you download. So in addition, we know that gamers are fucking mad like 100% of the time. And if we know anything about Metacritic review scores or about Steam review scores, once they get mad about something, they will bomb that shit in an instant. In an instant. So how do you know that people aren't going to, you know, under malevolent intentions download this game a million times just to see a developer tank and just to see the developer receive $1 million in Unity fees? How are we supposed to know that? And of course, the only response that Unity has to this is, trust us, bro. We can, we'll know. We'll be able to track whether or not they're doing some sort of, you know, any sort of malfeasance or fraud. We'll be able to track that. Don't worry, bro.
While
we
they
got
over here
you.
deleting the old terms of service.
Exactly.
Like, so they don't have to, like, no. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
That is wild.
It is crazy. And also this guy over here, I just want to say Game Maker's STK. He's just an indie developer. And basically at the end, he says, basically, I've never been so embarrassed to use a piece of software, and I have an Adobe CC license, for God's sake, which is hilarious. because I have an Adobe CC license and that shit's ridiculous. Like, I don't know why the fuck I pay for that shit, but I do, and I'm a stupid person for doing it. But like, this is so much worse. So much worse. Adobe gets on my nerves. They really do. They be charging like fucking $60 for one program, $60 a month for one program. I'm like, how? What kind of ridiculousness is this?
For installations. I really like what Clown said. Like, it's literally malware. Like, charging someone for an installation is wild to me. Like, so you're charging them to set up the game. You're charging them to pay for the game, for someone to buy the game, and then you're going to charge them for people to install the game. What?
They're not charging for the sales though, so they don't take any royalties off the sales. It's just off of the installation fee. So,
but even then, like, people, how many times I uninstall games and reinstall them all the time?
Right.
That's ridiculous.
And they say that they'll be able to track that. They'll be able to track
That's creepy. That's
how,
wild.
bro? How? Tell me how.
He looks so sad in this picture.
He really does.
He looks tired.
The man is sick of life.
He looked tired. Oh my god.
If Unity went with this, they essentially invented piracy bombing. Yeah, that's really what it is. Like, if you want to, see a developer tank, like just uninstall, or maybe set up different IPs where you install the game on each IP and you can spoof IPs. So, like, I mean, I don't understand how exactly they plan on tracking that, and it opens up so much just illegal gray area where now developers are going to be, in some way they're going to have to, create their own checks and balances for that, which is going to be another space for investment on the developers end, which is completely unfair to them. So this is Unity's apology. Unity decided to release apology yesterday, actually.
Apology without really apologizing.
Yeah.
At that.
They took a page from Twitch's book and they said, "We have heard you.
We heard you.
We hear you. We see you."
And we still gonna find a way to implement this when this is
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then once you guys shut up, then we're gonna do it again.
Go right back to January 1st, 2024, charging your ass.
We apologize for the confusion and angst. There was no confusion. There was no confusion. Everybody was perfectly. They understood everything. There was no confusion. We apologize for the confusion and angst the runtime fee policy we announced on Tuesday caused. It really is. Right, this is an abusive relationship at this point. We are listening, talking to our team members. Go on. Talking to our team members, community, customers, and partners, and we'll be making changes to the policy. We will share an update in a couple of days. Thank you for your honest and critical feedback. So not only did they say that, oh, we heard you, we see you, but also they gave literally no details at all about how they're going to change or roll back the proposed changes that they announced. So
it's been how many days now since they've said anything?
It's been over a week.
On to what?
Over a week. Real quiet. And now, in addition, I don't know where I put it. I had a link for this too. But oof, I didn't put it in here. But there is a humongous backlash. Let me see. Game makers remove Unity ads. Yes, this should be it. This is not it. I don't know where it went. I wish that I had it. I'll post it into the when I post the Topic Tuesday into the Discord. I'll make sure to include the link of the article that I saw. But it was over 500 developers have now banded together and have vowed to remove Unity's ads and because that's how they make their revenue through ads. So they decide to remove ads and also stop producing on Unity until they revert the changes. And it's like major developers too. I don't know how Unity can even consider going through with. Yeah, you know what? Actually, it was on my phone. Hold on, I'll be able to read it right from here. But yeah, I really don't know how Unity will be able to, like, in good faith, go through with what they've already proposed, but it's so wild.
Good faith was out the window when they decided to delete that TOS thing, though. That's kind of crazy. That's wild. Because really, like, that's sneaky. So,
oh, here it is. Over 500 developers joined Unity protests against runtime fee policy. Magic Tavern, Lyron Studios, and Machine Zone are among the latest studios to sign a collective letter against Unity's proposed changes. Last week, 16 studios cut off all Unity-based monetization in protest of the company's proposed runtime fee policy. More than 503 developers and counting have now signed the collective letter to turn off all Iron Source, SDK, and Unity ads monetization until new conditions are reviewed. So, now this is even...
Sounds like a strike to me.
It is. And now this is even a bigger thing. So... Iron Source is the reason. I also do not have the... Oh, actually, I do. I have it over here. It's connected to this, I think, or connected to the Reddit one. There were so many freaking links for this that, like, I lost a few in the scuffle. But in either case, I'll just explain it off the top of my head. So, Iron Source is the reason. Iron Source is an ad company that works with Unity to produce ads in order to gain revenue for the company through all of their developments. Iron Source was acquired by Unity, or Iron Source merged with Unity for $4.4 billion in 2020, I believe that was. At the same time, there was a bigger company that was, I can't remember what the name is, but was offering to buy Unity for $20 billion. Instead, Unity decided to go with this $4.4 billion merger with Iron Source. And... this kind of flew under the radar. No one really understood why, but now it's starting to make sense. And it is because Iron Source is the reason for these new proposed changes to the runtime fee policy. And it's sort of just like how Twitter decided to change their free platform to be monetized. And it is exactly how Reddit just went through the entire blackout because their developers were being charged for accessing the Reddit API thousands of dollars that they're not able to sustain. So they had to do the Reddit blackout, which unfortunately wasn't really successful because the API changes still happened. But now developers are taking like the blunt end of that stick and being they're losing out on opportunity. And if they were to continue developing on those platforms, they're going to be charged out like a ton of money that they simply do not have. And actually, everybody who's involved in all of these schemes, they're all from the PayPal mafia, which is insane. Wow, so like the PayPal mafia, crazy. That is where Elon Musk started. Elon Musk started as PayPal. He wanted to rename PayPal to X if anybody, or PayPal X, if anybody realized, which is actually what he did on Twitter. Yeah, that was
obsessed.
He really is. That was in 2014 or 2016. I forget what year exactly that was. Please don't come at me for not having exact dates. Usually I would have this laid out in front of me, but I don't have the links in front of me. But there's also a link that I'll give you for a YouTube video which goes through this probably better than my bumbling words can. But in either case, so all these people and all of the people on the board of directors or I think it's like 3 people on the board of directors of Unity, they're from the PayPal mafia. as well, and they have
Wow.
all sold off their Unity stock
Wow.
before these proposed changes. Like literally on the 13th and 14th, right before Unity made these announcements, they all sold off their stock, which is like such a it's so amazingly
Where there's smoke,
suspicious.
bruh, there's fire. I swear. That is really crazy.
Like one of
That
them,
is-
they sold off like $1.9 billion of their Unity stock. I can't remember what exactly their names are. Like I said, I'm going to give you guys the link so that you can watch it. But it is like beyond crazy how now this is actually it's business. The insider trading might be a little bit illegal, depending on how exactly that pans out. I'm not sure about the insider trading with the stocks.
Allegedly, assumption, allegedly.
But everything else is pretty fair game as far as business goes. However, Unity is going to see the humongous tank to their branding because they've lost the trust between the developers, and now their revenue source of that ad revenue coming from Iron Source, now that's going to be targeted by people who are protesting these changes. So it's like it's a whole entire hole. There is a hole that is to be discovered and or to be explored more, I suppose. And it is absolutely crazy how all of these rich people are actually like they're just like hanging out together. They're just like, yeah, how do we charge people more? Oh yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this. Oh yeah, we'll do this. Oh yeah, we'll do this. See you guys in like 2 years when we're like billionaires. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
It's nasty. It's the utter disregard for other people's lives, though. Like at the cost of them making more money and kind of making money and then running. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
But
no, I was gonna say that's my time, Kyle. I'm really, really grateful that you brought me onto the show. This has been a fun and very informative experience.
This has been fun. Thank you so much for being here, show.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
Absolutely. And make sure y'all eat. If y'all don't take away nothing else besides the fact that these companies be thieving, please eat. Okay, take care of yourself and eat. Okay.
Yes, sir. I need to do that.
I'm eating right now. Thank you, clown.
Can we get a shout out? Yes, we can. Yes, the fuck we can.
Oh, and if you guys need to find me anywhere, I'm on Twitch, all the same name, Maroni Shogun, on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube and Instagram. But yeah, thank you for having me, Kyle. I appreciate it.
Yes, please. I'll probably be inviting you another time. I do have plans to like have multiple people on this Topic Tuesday stream at one point, so I'll let you know. I'll keep you on the DM.
Absolutely. You have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, show.
Bye,
everybody say bye, show. So as far as this goes, I have this over here, which is an Asmongold Reacts video. This just came out 2 days ago. And this is actually the one that I was talking about where Unity gets worse. It's actually from Games from Scratch.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike here.
Oh, actually, no, it's not. I lied.
The Unity
Where is this from?
disaster get
the upper echelon. This is a fantastic video. And you get to understand exactly where everything comes from. So I just want to show this one little portion over here.
At Silver Lake, which it now appears, I shit you not, has sold the entirety of joined Unity's board of directors. Egon Durbin and Rolaf both. That's honestly peanuts compared to AppLovin. But when the deal eventually did come through, two more people.
AppLovin, that is the company that was trying to purchase Unity for $20 billion, but instead Unity decided to do the merger for $4.4 billion with Iron Source.
People, one from each of those companies, joined Unity's board of directors. Egon Durbin and Rolaf Botha, these nuts. Starting with Egon Durbin, he is a founding principal and managing director at Silver Lake, which it now appears, I shit you not, has sold the entirety of their directly held remaining stock in Unity Technologies disclosed as of yesterday. Also, Egon Durbin, once again, big shout out to Zijit over on Reddit. The connections here are fascinating, and I wouldn't have known about half of them without their post. Egon Durbin was embroiled in scandal when he advised Elon Musk about the potential to take Tesla private. That was a whole fiasco with a legal quagmire where Elon said he was going to take the company private, and then the SEC got involved, etc., etc. But Egon Durbin still has major ties to both Twitter and Musk, as shareholders attempted to oust him and failed in the wake of Musk's infamous takeover. Well, now that we have Elon Musk in the mix, once again, let's double down. Egon Durbin came on board through Silver Lake, but Rolaf Botha came on board with Sequoia Capital. Yeah, Rolaf Botha is part of what's commonly referred to as the PayPal Mafia, alongside Elon Musk. The PayPal Mafia, for those that don't know, is a list of former employees and founders at PayPal who have since gone on to create a giant spider web of technology companies. It includes names like Peter Thiel, Chad Hurley, co-founder of YouTube, Yishan Wong, founder of Reddit, and yes, Rolaf Botha, a partner now at Sequoia Capital, sitting on the board of directors at Unity. Get this, in October of 2022, Rolaf Botha was predicting success, quote unquote, for Elon Musk at Twitter, stating that his firm, Sequoia Capital, conducted due diligence and the business model can be improved. But let's expand on that comparison. See, Twitter actually made radical changes to
business model can be improved. That is 100% like that's the equivalent of a dog whistle in this whole technology business sector. It can be improved. I wonder how do they improve it, Elon Musk? I wonder. Wow. In 2023, improving Twitter.
Their API pricing model not long after Elon's takeover.
Which is exactly why Twitter's API pricing increases, and that is exactly why whenever you're trying to connect anything to Twitter now, if you're on like an external website and you're trying to connect onto Twitter, it doesn't work. It does not work. For example, I use Keymailer. You cannot connect onto Twitter anymore. I use what else was it? Not Discord. There was another website that I was going through that I was trying to connect to through Twitter, and it just doesn't work. The majority of sites, they can't pay for this reach into the they can't pay for these new fees that are associated with connecting to the Twitter API anymore.
And those changes are not dissimilar to those of Unity. Personally, I ran up against this when trying to map these huge political bot networks with my team, and now I can't do that because I got locked out of the API based on those changes, and I can't afford to pay thousands of dollars per month to do it. Hosting costs have long been the elephant in the room for tech companies. The more traffic you get, the more expensive it is. And Twitter decided to start ruthlessly charging developers for API requests.
Yep.
That resulted in a lot of applications being deprecated because they just simply couldn't afford the costs being passed down to them in such a way. And
now they're
the trend
broken.
is far from over. Reddit, much like Twitter, went down a very similar route, opting to start spontaneously charging for API usage. And Reddit CEO Steve Huffman is on record praising Elon Musk's new monetization tactics for Twitter as a platform.
Imagine praising Twitter Blue and the monetization tactics for their API.
Explicitly saying that their conversations had been inspiring for him. Flash forward today,
inspiring.
And we now see Unity,
and then he does the same
continue
thing.
That very same trend. Logistically, protecting game developers from bad
and now Unity's doing the same exact thing.
Actors will now be completely impossible because every time you spin up a virtual machine, it's a brand new install, right? And they have no way to differentiate that, and you could easily target developers if you wanted to.
Exactly, and that's one thing. The installs, you can create a virtual machine, you can spoof a machine, and then how are they supposed to track whether or not that's an actual machine that it's installing on or something that's virtual? You don't know.
But focusing on the casual mobile game market, remember, Unity accepted an Iron Source merger at $4.4 billion instead of a merger with AppLovin, valued at $20 billion. Focusing on the casual mobile market, we see this right here. Unity is offering a runtime fee waiver if you switch to Level Play as it tries to kill AppLovin. Would you look at that? Level Play is a service from Iron Source. Here's a much better visualization of what's actually happening from a user named Sososki on Twitter. The yellow indicates the portion of developers who will now lose between 10 and 25% of their revenue with Unity's new terms of service. The orange, they stand to lose between 25 and 50% of their revenue. Red can lose between 50 and 100%, and that scary black line off to the left, not huge, but it is there. That's the area where these new terms will bankrupt your company because Unity decided to charge you more money per install than your app is even making.
So just to explain what this is, This is essentially saying the vertical is how many downloads your game gets. Okay, so at the most you can get 50 million downloads at the top of this graph. Okay, and then this is how much revenue you the developer is making per download sold. Okay, and if you're making under this little mark right over here, like I would say like probably like 7 cents per download, and then you're going into like the 20 millions over here, you're literally going to go bankrupt because you're not sustainable at that point, and Unity's fee will literally kill your company. So congrats.
We're mostly talking about small scale free mobile applications and games, but even if I have my gripes with the mobile game market, those people still have jobs and deserve fair treatment. Let's go big picture here. Unity is being raked over the coals, rightly so, for their decision to implement aggressive pricing on their customer base. That decision emulates a pattern that began with Twitter, was mirrored by Reddit, and is now making its way through the broader markets. The decision itself appears to be aimed at killing a competing service after Unity actually rejected a buyout offer from that service's owner in favor of a merger with IronSource, who stands to gain the most from this entire controversy. Meanwhile, the CEO of IronSource and the directors who came on board through Sequoia Capital and Silver Lake during the deal relentlessly dump their stock in Unity, standing to gain massively as the business gets funneled into level play. The vouchers.
Imagine, dude. Imagine. That is so crazy. And like I said, the insider trading, that might have some sort of legal standpoint. I don't know exactly what that is. But clearly these people knew what they were doing before they were going into this little plan. So it is absolutely wild. I'll be posting this little YouTube video into the Topic Tuesday script, so y'all can watch that. It's pretty short. It's 11 minutes, or 12 minutes actually. But woo! Oh my God. It's crazy out here. It is crazy. And you know who loses overall? Who loses? We do. We do. Because we get to see less free games. Developers have to raise their prices. Okay? And then ultimately the consumers will take on the brunt of those fees. So I'm just saying. And meanwhile, these companies are already making record-breaking profit. Okay? And their valuations are in the billions. So I'm just saying. I always win. You do, Pietro. You're a winner. You're a champion at heart. Okay? So this is crazy, dude. It's really, really crazy. But only time will tell how this entire thing goes. I agree with Sho. This is gonna be the death of social media. It's a virus that's gonna spread, and it's going to affect every market that we see, every digital market that we see. It's going to affect it. If it keeps running, rampant like this. I'm gonna go outside and touch grass again. I was gonna say fuck Loblaws. Loblaws? What's Loblaws? And yeah. All right, but in either case, Unity apologized, didn't say anything, but according to them, they're going to, like, their proposed changes to the runtime policy are that users will be able to self-report installs, which I don't know how that helps. And then there were like 2 other things to that too, which it was what Forbes reported on, or no, it was what Reuters reported on, but I don't know about like the practicality of any of that, to be very, very honest. So that's or if it's actually something that Unity is proposing and just not rumor. So I don't want to talk about that. But apparently Unity is walking back some of the stuff. But in my opinion, it shouldn't even be a thing. If Unity wants to charge anything, I believe that it should be a royalty on sales. Okay. I believe that Unity does have the ability to charge a royalty on sales. However, it should not retroactively overtake any TOS that has already been signed by developers. It should only take, if they want to make it take effect on January 1st, I believe that should affect any games made past January 1st, or any games approved by Unity past January 1st, because there are certain developers that are already creating games under a different TOS that they've already signed. So I installed this game on this day, and that's it. Right? like I don't understand how user reporting will help things, because if anything, I feel like it exacerbates a problem. While it sort of tackles one problem, like how do they track it, it exacerbates another problem of what if the user lies. So, I don't know. Massive corporate grocery business with many stores, brands. They've been get price gouging Canada, crying about costs going up, yet they've been having record profits since 2020. That's like, I feel like that is the, ever since like 2016-ish, 2015, 2016, companies have been doing this, and they've been saying that, oh, we have to lay off a whole bunch of people, we have to, you know, we can't withstand all these costs of infrastructure, so we have to let all of these people go. And meanwhile they're making record profits, and it's very, very disconcerting to my soul, to be very, very honest. Extremely disconcerting to my soul. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. And Lord knows that I don't have the capital to make any difference in what happens. So all I have is just a little bit of online clout and Topic Tuesday. So, oh, I see what I did. I see what I did. This is what I did. This is what I did. I put it into a picture. And I had a picture that I was supposed to show. Let's go over here, Streaming Essentials, Special Stream Events. Let's go to Topic Tuesday. We go to Topic Tuesday 9. And then Unity. Yes. So this is what the entire video essentially was like, what spurred this video. Because someone posted to Reddit, what changed in 2020. Unity went public, and a bunch of shitheads bought their way into Unity's board of directors. Ultimately, the CEO works for the board, so when these new bosses tell him to do something self-destructive, he does it. Here are the names you should be talking about instead of John. However, John, what is his name? John Riticelli? I don't know how to pronounce it. Ritticiello. That's the CEO of Unity, who's getting most of the flack right now. However, Tomar Barzeev, Rolif Botha, and Egon Durbin, those are all the people that that they go through in this video, and talking about how Iron Source merged with Unity, how Sequoia Lake or Sequoia Capital and Silver Lake were investing billions into the Unity deal, so then they got positions onto the board. It's wild. It is so wild. Yeah, Lord knows my pocket is not deep enough to battle any of these people, but Jesus Christ. He's not blameless. No, he's not. He's definitely not blameless. However, it's not just him. It is not just him. So, whew, that was a lot. That's a lot. Also, I think Unity posted that apology. What was that on the I think it was like 2 days ago, on the 17th. It was on Sunday, when they said, "Oh, we hear you, we see you. We're going to do something, but we're not going to tell you what it is just yet." So we'll see. It's been 48 hours of silence, and we'll see what happens. But in either case, let's move on to some more positive news. I don't even know if it's positive, honestly. It's just crazy news. There is now everybody knows about CSGO, or not everybody, but I'll say it like this. There is an amazing economy going on in CSGO, and many people know about CSGO's proclivity for encouraging gambling. Proclivity for encouraging gambling to their users. You open up loot boxes, and then you'll get special weapons. It's the CSGO knives that generally go for a ton of money, and then there's going to be CSGO stickers that go for a ton of money. Okay, so there is apparently a $118,000 CSGO knife that was just sold. This knife doesn't even have sound in the video, okay? This knife, it has a karambit blue pattern, sold for $118,000. $300,000. So it's apparently the same pattern as this Notorious Karambit Blue Gem, which had an alleged offer of 1.5 million. That's alleged as fuck. Alleged as fuck. But the seller rejected. Okay. But even still, $118,000 for an in-game item is wild to me. And more on that, this is all from Jake Sucky, by the way. So if you're not following Jake Sucky on Twitter, he's a very good wealth of knowledge for anything that's happening in the digital place. But there's also this as well, where a Chinese CS trader applied $320,000 in Titan Katao Ice stickers to this M4A1S. $320,000. This is $320,000, y'all. This is $320,000. Now, not only is $320,000 absolutely wild, but like, imagine a sticker in a video game being $80,000 each, because there's 4 stickers on there. Okay, it's $80,000 per sticker. How these people value these items? I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick. Why? I don't know. I have no clue. I personally don't get it. I mean, it's definitely a flex. It's 100% a flex. It's like, this is reminding me of this. Wait. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Where XQC bought this watch for $300,000. It's 100%. It's giving me the same. That is a waste of money, isn't it? Like, hello, y'all can do so much with that money. I could just take 10. Like, give me 10, bro. Give me 10, and I'll be good. I'll be Gucci. Like, come on. I don't know. Like. It's wild, just for a flex, I guess. That's the way it goes. Are any of y'all gonna apply, or are y'all looking for $100,000 weapons in CS:GO? Anybody in here looking for CS:GO? If you are a CS:GO trader and you're watching this on YouTube, let me know. Send me, please make a comment. Let me know. I want to interview you, and I want to understand the mentality. I want to understand it, because I don't get it. I don't. But I'm willing to hear it out. I am. Give me $20. I don't care. I know, right? Like, give me 100. Oh, ew, don't. LMAO. No, I want to. Because it's clearly there's a lot of money in there. It's clear, and I know that a lot of people do it for like the buying and selling. Like they actually do it for like the buying and selling. But I don't know how it makes sense in a financial sense, if it is truly just gambling, or if there is an actual practical way of making money off of that economy. Oh, you're talking about XQC specifically. Oh, yeah, I'm not talking about XQC. Yeah, I'm not talking about XQC. I'm just talking about anybody who's in the trading world for CS:GO. I want to understand it. Yeah. Not, I mean, XQC is, I've talked about XQC before on Topic Tuesday, and I don't understand the appeal. I don't. And I just watched like this entire interview of XQC. XQC was talking with what's his name? Has a show on YouTube podcast. funny guy, does interesting thing with Ethan Klein. There we go, Ethan Klein. He was doing an interview with Ethan Klein, and then somehow the interview went bad. XQC decided to DM him a picture of his watch in order to, kind of like shove it in his face that like he was, I guess, able to flex. And then Ethan took it in a certain way, and then like he joined a Discord call with Tom Dark, and I watched this entire thing, and let me tell you, XQC is so just like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like that's that is literally every single time that XQC speaks, like that's what I get. That's 100% what I get. I'm like, I just don't get it. I don't understand. Anybody who's an XQC fan, also, y'all are also welcome to come onto stream, and I will interview you as well, just to get the, just to understand what you love so much. But anyway, so let's stop talking about other creators. Let's talk about some games. There was the Nintendo Direct on 9/14/23. It was just last week. And a whole bunch of people were excited about this. No, literally, exactly. Brain chemistry is funky in that 3-letter. Yo, jeez. You're funny. So, the Nintendo Direct happened last week. Everybody went crazy over it. I personally was not even aware that it was happening until people started tweeting about it. I'm excited for RPG and Wonder. Everybody's so excited for the RPG. I think I saw also Jace. I feel like Jace was also talking about the RPG, Super Mario RPG. I'm excited for Paper Mario. Look at this. Paper Mario's coming back. Oh, I don't want an advertisement. I'm not going to do that. But either way, Paper Mario is coming back. Paper Mario was a moment in my life. So I'm ready for that. But I haven't had a Switch well, I've never had a Switch, but I haven't had a Nintendo console ever since like the very first Nintendo, like Nintendo with the golden Zelda cartridge and Duck Hunt. That's what I had. And then ever since then, I haven't had a Nintendo console. I've always had PlayStation. And then I come onto Twitch and I become friends with Show, and then everybody, Kiwi, Music, everybody has a fucking Switch, and everybody's playing all these great Nintendo games, and I can't join, and I'm just like looking at people through the fucking window, like looking through the bars, like just like tear going down my cheek, watching everybody else have fun. It's so sad. TTYD. Oh, the 1,000-year door. Got you. I'm not ready for all the. Listen, like I make fun of XQC, but I'm really not that far ahead of him. So like I got it. Like these acronyms sometimes. Woo. All right, but I got it. I was not a TTYD child, but I'm ready to try it. And yes, NES. That was my first console, and ever since then I haven't had another Nintendo. Actually, no, I'm lying. I had Game Boy. Game Boy was also a moment, a huge moment. But yeah. That was a long time ago. That was like in elementary school. That was like the Pokemon Red days. Oh man. But yeah, so they announced Paper Mario. They announced Mario vs. Kong, Donkey Kong Remake. They announced F-Zero 99. All right, Princess Peach, Showtime. All right, Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remasters announced, which is very interesting because, like, I feel like why, if a remaster, you're going to do a remaster, like, why remaster on the Switch? Like, it's really not going to be far off from, like, what the original graphics were. So I feel like that's kind of hilarious. But that's a little bit of shade. My bad. Luigi's Mansion 2. Wait, why are you distraught about F-Zero? Typically, I buy every major console release, but I skip the Wii U. Oh, okay. So you're a Nintendo. See, everybody's a Nintendo fanboy. I've never been in that Nintendo in that Nintendo world. I've always loved Nintendo games. Like whenever I go over to my cousin's house, I would always play Nintendo 64. I would always play GameCube. When I had the Wii, when my little brothers got the Wii, freaking Metroid Prime, amazing game. That game set my soul on fucking fire. Okay. If they ever release Metroid Prime on PC, just know I'm getting it. Splatoon 3. All right. Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. It looks kind of cool. I like it's a side-scrolling Prince of Persia game. A little bit different than the previous Prince of Persia installments. It's a little fun. 99 is fun, but come on. Oh, it's not a new F-Zero game? Oh, okay. I mean, I've never played F-Zero, so I have no idea about it. I think there should have been a new F-Zero game, but the 99 gameplay from what I've seen from folks is so fun. I've never played F-Zero in my life. I don't know anything about it. Zero clues. Zero ideas about F-Zero. But I'm sad that it's not what you guys wanted, to be honest. And then Super Mario RPG Remake. Trombone Champ. This game is so hilarious. I feel like I don't know why this wasn't on the Switch in the first place, to be very honest. I feel like this is such a Switch. This is so Switch coded. The Trombone Champion, like, it's so Switch coded. I don't know why they didn't release it on there in the first place. It should have been there from day one. Dave the Diver. I have no clue what this is, to be very honest. Wave 6 of Mario Kart's 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. Okay, so that's a little bit of a DLC. Detective Pikachu returns and gets a new... Did anybody play the original Detective Pikachu? Wait, or wasn't Detective Pikachu a movie? And now they're making it into a game? Is that what it is? Because it's called Detective Pikachu Returns. I was kind of confused about that. It was also music. It was also a movie, so it was also a video game. Got you. Game, movie, game 2. Oh, it was a game first. Oh, I thought the movie came first. Ah, it's Go Fast, Be Sexy. That sounds like a game for me, honestly. Amiibo updates. Horizon Chase 2. Another Code recollection. Saga Emerald. I don't know this game either. Unicorn Overlord. New tactics RPG from the developer behind 13 Sentinels. I don't know about that. A Euden Chronicle. 100 Heroes targets in April 2024 release date. It's okay, Lola. WarioWare, Move It. And that's about it. So there's also a Nintendo Gallery Museum to be completed in Kyoto. So that's also really cool. And when I'm going to Japan, I probably will be going there. Hopefully in 2024, that trip will happen. Go look up some Dave the Diver. Okay, let's see. No. I want to see Dave the Diver gameplay.
This is one of those games that feels like it comes out of
loud. Oh my god.
Nowhere, but the ingredients doesn't sound too bad, does it? I can decline. I'm sort of intrigued to. I'm sort of tempted to decline to see what happens, but I will accept. So I can use as much sushi as I want. Yeah, not too much. We're good just having the fish. All right. Looks like you caught.
Yeah, I want to see this part.
Ow!
Oh.
The stupid fish. Oh. I've had some gold. Please be 100 in here. Come on. What's that? Long distance underwater scooter. Can I equip that? Can I use that?
This looks like fun.
Oh.
Ooh.
Critical depths. Oh no.
Oh, I see. And then you have a air meter. You have a depth meter. Oh, I feel like I would enjoy this. This would be fun.
Don't really want to die, do we?
But this is on Switch, right?
That'd be a bad idea. First episode, I'm dead already. Return to the.
But this is on Switch, correct? Oh, it's on PC? Oh. Maybe I'll check it out. Oh, it's everywhere now? Oh, as part of the Nintendo Direct, was it released on PC? Oh, I see. It was released on PC first, and now it's going on to Switch. Now it makes sense. Got you. Understood. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't played through a lot of smaller indie games this past year. I've been focusing on a lot of a lot of the major games. Like I've been playing Apex again, but not really focused on Apex. But I've been playing a lot of Overwatch now. A lot of Overwatch. I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. Kind of stopped on my like indie grind, but I should go back onto that. I'm playing crazy indie stuff. I remember I was seeing on your stream you were playing Sable, and that I still need to play that too. Actually, I keep talking about it. I was gifted Sable, and I still haven't played it. But in either case, all of these things coming over to Switch makes me question: should I get a Switch? I don't know. I feel like I should get one, but at the same time, it's like $300. But also, if you guys didn't know, the Switch 2 was actually revealed to Activision last year. So the Switch 2 should actually be coming in 2024. So in 2022, Nintendo's CEO Shuntaro Furukawa met with Activision execs and briefed them on the details about the Switch 2. So Nintendo has been briefing key partner studios on its next generation Nintendo Switch hardware ahead of the console's reported 2024 release, according to multiple reports. We now know that one of those companies is Activision, thanks to new filings in the Federal Trade Commission versus Microsoft case that were first reported by The Verge. The email chain from December 22 and its attached document are heavily redacted, but they show that Activision CEO Bobby Kotick met with Nintendo president and CEO Shuntaro Furukawa on December 15th. The document was sent by Chris Schnackenberg, Senior Vice President of Global Platform Strategy and Partner Relations at Activision, to Platform Strategy and Partnerships Director Rana Brahma and Activision Chief Financial Officer Armin Zerza, the leader of whom passed it along to Kotick. Almost 9 pages are redacted, only a small note in next generation Switch's performance expectations left visible. So it's literally just saying that they want the Nintendo Switch to operate more like the PS4 and Xbox One in terms of graphics, graphical fidelity. So they're aiming for the Switch to just be a stronger graphical platform rather than right now, which has the internet up in an uproar after Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch is literally getting laughed at because of their ridiculous graphics and animations. Also, we're not going to watch an ad, but it's hilarious. So yeah. There's also,
right. They did try and take you out because this is the.
In addition to this,
you've earned this.
Oh my god, dude! All right, we'll watch one.
Always show up, no matter how small the show.
One ad, okay, just so that we can get this 17 minutes of Switch gameplay. MK1 is so funny. It really is. It looks hilarious. There's this one picture of Johnny Cage that's on the couch, and he's just like looking at, I forget what it was. I think he's looking at like a can of soda or something. Look at these graphics, dude. Oh man. It looks like Fortnite characters, except worse. Though Destiny, they have to put it on Switch and charge $70 is wild. I just want to see the finisher. That's all I want. Here it is. Oh no, that's not the finisher, I'm lying. Oh, here it is. You can like see the pixelation and everything. Oh, this is like horrendous. Oh, with the graphical chugging and everything. But in either case, yeah. So Mortal Kombat 1 graphics on the Switch are absolutely fucking horrendous. Ain't this on the Switch? Yeah, it is. Yeah, yep. This is Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch with its amazing graphical fidelity. Amazing. So apparently the Switch 2 is going to have better graphics. Maybe I'll go for the Switch 2, but watch it be like $500. I'm not paying $500 for the Switch. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If the pricing structure is going to follow anything like the convention pricing changes that we've seen going around, I am absolutely not buying that on day one. Absolutely not. Then there's your graphical issues right there. Well, yeah, that was yeah, that's yeah. And in addition, about con prices, there's also a thing going on about DreamCon. DreamCon is in Atlanta. This is like a mini story, a little mini story. DreamCon is held in Atlanta, had record attendance last year, or this past year, actually in 2023. Apparently, the tickets for next year are have been announced. First off, they're doing it like drops, so you can't just go onto the website and then just buy tickets until they're sold out. You have to prepare yourself like a supreme drop and buy the tickets whenever they announce it and pay attention to all their socials in order to do it. And then in addition, they also said that they're not going to be compensating their speakers. They're not going to be comping tickets, okay? They're just going to force you to buy a ticket if you're on a panel, and you're going to be working the panel as well. So congratulations if you wanted to work at DreamCon next year. You're going to be paying to work there, which is absolutely another crazy thing. So I hope that the Switch is not going to follow any of that market trajectory. All right, I don't want any of that. I have a bot for Supreme Drop. Okay, so make it for DreamCon too, so I can get a ticket. Thanks, appreciate it. Also on gaming, the iPhone 15 Pro was just released or was just announced this past week. And literally, I'm just going to ask you guys straight to your face. Okay. I'm just going to ask you guys straight to your face. All right. Why do y'all enable Apple like this? Why do y'all enable Apple like this? Do you see a difference? Do you I'm gonna tell you if you see a difference. I'm literally gonna, yeah, y'all. That's right, y'all. Who's an Apple? If you're an Apple user, put a 1 in the chat. Because I'm gonna make fun of you. 1, I guess. Okay, well, you don't count. You said you have an iPhone 6s. It's okay. LMAO. Oh man, yeah. So okay. This is taking this a little bit lightly. Okay, I take this a little bit lightly. I am a Samsung user. Okay. However, I mean, every phone kind of does this, but Apple takes it to a whole new level, dude. These are exactly the same phone. There is actually literally no difference except for a new chip. Okay. A new chip. There's always a new chip. And then also they changed all the ports from Lightning to finally now everything's USB-C. So all of those Lightning accessories that you've purchased for years and years and years and years and years and years and years of owning Apple products, congratulations, they're now useless. If you want to buy any of the new Apple products, all of them are going to come with USB-C, which is already a standard on Android and other phones, you know, like Microsoft phones and stuff like that. Ever since like, what? 2009 or something. But yeah. So, well, actually, no, it was a little bit later than 2009. It was definitely like 2014 or 2015. But in either case, now not only did Apple make this change, however, they were forced to make the change. It wasn't even like a conscious decision. This is simply because in the EU, Apple had a lawsuit against their, I want to say their FTC, their Federal Trade Commission. I forget what exactly the entity is that they had a lawsuit against. And they essentially forced Apple to make the change to USB-C. Not only that, but Lightning was clearly inferior because it would break easier and doesn't transfer data as fast as USB-C ports. So literally the only change is going to be the USB-C port and a what was I saying? The USB-C port and the chip. The chip that they always put in. The graphics, the screen is actually all the same. They say that they improved the body because instead of using aluminum, they're using titanium, okay? And now that titanium comes with like a $200 price increase. So that's also really cool. And I thought they just made the phones ship with Lightning to USB-C adapters. No, the actual phones are USB-C ports. Yeah. Apple stink, me twerking in front of my Android. Oh, listen. See, I knew I liked y'all for a reason. I knew I did. Because literally, like, they did not change anything about this damn phone. They did not. However, I will say with the Pro Series, this is the story. With the Pro Series, if I can find it. Here it is. They are aiming to target a gaming audience. Okay, they're saying that this is going to be the best game console, which is sus to say the least, because I've gamed on my phones before and it's not easy. Number one, if you're using a touchscreen, the screen real estate, like it gets very, very small very, very quickly. And number two, your phones tend to get hot super quick. And when the phone gets hot, your battery suffers. And when your battery suffers, then you don't have a phone anymore. So the question is, are we going to be able to have phones that actually cool themselves in a way that can handle these high quality graphics? Because they're saying that it's supposed to be competing with the Switch, supposed to be competing with PS4, supposed to be competing with Xbox One on the iPhone Pro 15. That's a statement. That is a statement and a half. I will say my phone does good things. It does good things, but I would not at all say that it's going to be better than a PS4 or PS5. So that's pretty wild to me. But they're going to be focusing with the Pro Series, developing the best game console for these phones. What I've been saying for the longest time is that there is such a huge potential in the phone mobile gaming market, humongous potential, and we waste it. Now, we don't waste it monetarily. Okay, we don't waste it monetarily because mobile gaming is actually the largest sector of gaming in terms of revenue overall. Period. The largest. However, it's all going to be with gacha games. It's going to be with those like really small microtransaction filled, free games. All of the Candy Crushes, all of the wordscapes, and what I'm saying is waste is that these games do not have integrity, and I'm talking about long-term integrity. True longevity in the gaming market. Whenever you're talking about a mobile game, it's an insult. If you say that, oh, that game looks like a mobile game, that is an insult. Okay? And for the longest time, we've had these mobile platforms, these phones that definitely do have the possibility or the potential to tackle any of the wonderful games that we saw on Nintendo, on Game Boy Advance, like those games, Neo Geo, as far as the PS Vita, all those games, they had like that story, that integrity, where it's a game that you play for the game itself and not for a pay to win, atmosphere. So I would love to see mobile games actually receive the attention that they deserve, because I would love to play a game on my phone and be like, I'm so invested in the story, I want to continue playing it. I've never said that before in my life. I've said that about like Genshin Impact. I've said that about Star Rail. Okay, but those are games that are also ported to PC. They're not mobile only. So I'm talking about games that are specifically for the phone. Instant gratification. Yep. That's about it. That's what it is. That's really the thing that fuels that industry too. It's all about instant gratification. It's all about, oh, I have to wait for my energy to refill. Let me just throw $100 into the game and have energy for 8 days. Oh, I am playing this gacha game, and this banner's just about to come out. I don't have enough money to make sure I guarantee a character, so let me just put in like People put thousands of dollars into these games. The person who spent $180,000 on freaking, how much did he spend on Diablo 4 Immortal or Diablo Immortal? Oh, it's 20,000. I thought he spent. Oh, there it is. YouTuber JT is all business, who spent $100,000 in Diablo Immortal. And we all know that Diablo Immortal is not a good game. It's not a good game. So just because your game is receiving a lot of money does not mean that it is a good game. It just means that it has successfully taken advantage of human psychology, which to many people on the board of directors of many different video game studios will consider that to mean a good game. But it truly doesn't. It truly doesn't. It really just creates more ill will towards your company, to be very honest, in the long term. Too damn much. I think I put $450 into Fire Emblem 3 years before I quit. Damn. That's a good amount of money. I put what was it? It was $350, $375 in one night into Final Fantasy Mobius. And I didn't get the card that I wanted either. I learned my lesson that day. Yeah, in 3 years at least. Yeah, at least yours is over 3 years. Mine was over one night. And I did it on stream. And then immediately after that, Lukey pulls for the same card, and he gets it immediately without spending any money. I was like, are you kidding me? Y'all saw me. Y'all looked at me straight in the eye and said, this man's a fucking doofus. I'm gonna take advantage of this bitch. And I fell for a hook, line, sinker. So hopefully the with this announcement from the iPhone Pro, maybe we'll see some more. So what I predict is that Apple really wants to be in the gaming industry. Apple is missing out completely on the gaming industry. Apple has already infiltrated the TV industry. Okay, they came out with Apple TV. They infiltrated that like production industry, Hollywood production TV movie industry, and now their goal is to get into the gaming industry, because almost every game is not geared towards Mac. Almost every game. However, their mobile games are starting to pick up steam, and a lot of people do play a lot of games that are specific to iOS, that are iOS specific, off of the iOS App Store. So I do predict that Apple's going to be focusing on getting probably some sort of subscription service, because that's the way that gaming is going now. Usually everything's going to subscription services. So I'm predicting that Apple's definitely going to be looking to open up its own subscription service probably in 2024, 2025. And iPhone 15 Pro is like sort of their announcement into that market, but I don't think that's really going to take fruition until like probably their next one or two sequels after this phone. But I do predict that we will be seeing an Apple subscription based gaming market very, very soon. They already do. Well, I mean, they already, but I'm talking about for like actual AAA games. Like, I'm not talking about like a mobile game. You know, I'm talking about like actual AAA games where they're partnering with like Game Pass, or they're partnering with Activision, Microsoft. They're partnering with Bethesda, or they're partnering with any of the FromSoft or Tencent. Well, Tencent already owns like a whole bunch of games, but in either case, yeah, I'm talking about like those like actual like AAA developers getting into spending with that market. But Apple Arcade is also valid. It is valid, but it's all, like I said, it's mobile games. And usually when you're talking about mobile games, it's going to be some sort of insult. But I want to see actual, developed mobile games that depend on more than just microtransactions to keep themselves alive. So, like, actually have memorable characters, has anybody ever had a mobile game that rivals, Zelda? Is anybody looking at that and looking for Link? Looking at a mobile game and looking for Link, looking for a Ganondorf, looking for a Zelda? I haven't seen it yet. Maybe there is a game out there that is doing that. I don't think so, though. But I think that Apple will be looking to open up that market. So, as far as it goes, In addition, we have more games coming out. There's a Cyberpunk 2077 update that's receiving a lot. They partner with EA, both of them stingy. They really are. But if they're partnering up with EA, we're not getting away from microtransactions. I'll tell you that much, because EA is like the microtransaction fucking king. Jesus. But yes, there is a Cyberpunk 2077 2.0 update that's getting a lot of praise. A lot of praise. Now, I thought that this had already come out on yesterday when I was talking to PHB about it, but apparently it's going to be coming out next week, I believe. So if anybody is about Cyberpunk, I feel like I'll probably be playing it. I'll be checking it out. I always enjoyed Cyberpunk as a game. I thought it was always a really cool game. I never finished it because I started on the very difficult difficulty, and that was a stupid decision because I was getting my ass whooped. But I should definitely start it again and maybe get through the whole game. I don't know. That's a lot to ask for me though. Don't ask me to get through the entire game, but I definitely will play it. And also the overhaul or the update overhauls all of the skills, adds new weapons, adds new capabilities for like melee and stuff like that. So if you were looking to expand your build in Cyberpunk, now might be the time. In addition, they also have a DLC that will be coming out alongside that as well. Urine update? I think that's a compliment. Hype. So also on games, Elder Scrolls 6 has been revealed to be a Microsoft exclusive. Who would have guessed? Oh my god. This is like very unsurprising news because Microsoft now owns Bethesda. But Elder Scrolls 6, they were saying that Elder Scrolls 6 has like a 2028 release date. This is saying 2026 plus release date. It's very sketchy on when exactly Elder Scrolls will be coming out, but let's say 2028 to 2029, we'll probably be seeing Elder Scrolls 6 because of some new Microsoft versus the FTC documents that happened this morning. Now we know that Microsoft was actually trying to also buy Nintendo as well. Microsoft is one of the most aggressive people in this market all of a sudden. I didn't realize that they were so aggressive. They're going for Activision Blizzard. Okay, that's why the FTC case was opened. And then in the leaked court documents, they actually have notes of looking towards acquiring Nintendo. Now, if Microsoft acquired Nintendo, I feel like that would probably be one of the most landmark acquisitions ever made. They would have so much IP under their belt. So much IP. So let's just look through this real quick. Another week, another dump of documents from the FTC versus Microsoft case. This time, a reveal may have a direct impact on players in both the PlayStation and Xbox ecosystems, even if it appears to be saying what many long suspected. Elder Scrolls 6 will skip PlayStation and be an Xbox exclusive. With the caveat that plans could still change, the document shows a bunch of acquired and future franchises from the Xbox Bethesda deal and how it handled exclusivity under its new Microsoft overlords. So, and this little chart over here. No, I can't open it. But in either case, it shows Fallout, it shows Ghostwire, it shows Deathloop, Elder Scrolls Online, Starfield, Redfall, and the Elder Scrolls 6. And it shows just where they're going to be seen, if they're going to be seen on PlayStation or if it's going to be an Xbox exclusive. And we can see that like all of the later games are Xbox exclusives. So Elder Scrolls 6, it was pretty unsurprising that was going to be an Xbox exclusive. And then for the publisher, we always see Xbox exclusives when they first release, and then later on down the line, or to like throw the publisher a little bit of a bone, they open up that IP so that it is able to be released on other platforms, just like, a year and a half, 2 years later, after all the hype has died down. So very, very interesting stuff. Microsoft is extremely aggressive, and every single dump of these documents is revealing so much more about what Phil Spencer is looking to do with this company. It's wild. It is very, very wild. Do I have the... Oh, it's on my phone again. That's what I was doing. Because it just happened this morning, so I didn't get to put it into the Topic Tuesday script. But let's see if I can find it. Here it is. So Microsoft had plans for buying Nintendo and Valve, leaked email reveals. And documents show Phil Spencer was discussing takeover options. If you thought that taking over the Call of Duty developer was a big deal, which is Activision Blizzard, then buckle up. And also, this happened in 2020 as well. This is in 2020. These are just leaked documents from the case that's this year, where we're able to see these email chains that happened years ago. But in 2020, Xbox chief Phil Spencer presented Microsoft leadership with plans to buy Nintendo and Valve. Our board of directors has seen a full write-up on Nintendo and Valve, and they fully support on either if opportunity arises, as am I. While the plans for Valve are not mentioned in this email, which was released as an attachment to an unsealed court document, in any detail, Spencer did provide some insight on how Microsoft is planning to force Nintendo into a merger. The unfortunate situation is that Nintendo is sitting on a big pile of cash. They have a board of directors that until recently has not pushed for further increase in market growth or stock appreciation, he reported to his colleagues Chris Capicella and Takeshi Numoto. I say until recently, as our former Microsoft board director member, Value Act has been heavily acquiring shares of Nintendo, and I've kept in touch with Mason Morfitt, Value Act CEO, as he's been acquiring. It's likely he will be pushing for more Nintendo stock, which could create opportunities for us. So essentially, what they're saying is that if Value Act continues to be aggressive and buy more of Nintendo's equity, then that will open up opportunities for us to then come in and counter offer and acquire Nintendo overall, acquire Nintendo as an acquisition. Acquire Nintendo as an acquisition. That was kind of repetitive, wasn't it? But Value Act 2020 Nintendo. Like, this is wild. So Value Act Capital Partners LP has a stake of over 1.1 billion in Nintendo. According to a letter seen by Reuters, a bet that digital software distribution and development of new entertainment products will fuel growth at the Japanese gaming company. So Value Act, which first began buying the stock in April 2019, grew the position in Nintendo, known for its game consoles. Nintendo future is bright, Value Act wrote in its letter, adding that there is potential for growth in both the software business and room for the company to transform itself into a broader entertainment company. Value Act has picked up 2.6 million shares, about 2.6 million shares, or about a 2% stake in Nintendo. Shares of this Japanese company rose more than 2% as trading started in Tokyo. And yeah, so essentially Value Act's CEO was a Microsoft board of director member. And ever since Value Act has broken off from Microsoft, they've been keeping their eyes on what they've been doing, and they're looking for that opportunity to buy Nintendo as a whole. That's so crazy to me, and I don't feel like that could happen in the foreseeable future. No, he's talking, Phil Spencer in these emails is talking to the CEO of Nintendo about this. The CEO of Nintendo is asking him, like, why don't you look for, more opportunities in Nintendo? And then Phil Spencer goes, oh, well, we've noticed that Value Act has been purchasing more of your stock, and we will keep the opportunity open if the opportunity arises. This is literally him. These are the heads of the company talking. So this is like nothing that is like, this isn't spurious. This is like real shit. Real shit. And not saying that he actually proposed. Phil Spencer did not propose this to Nintendo. Phil Spencer is just in talks with the Nintendo CEO, and this like flirting about this conversation, just flirting about it, and then on internally in these internal documents reveals that that yeah, they are looking for it. They're actively looking for it. They're active, and Phil Spencer says in that article, Phil Spencer says that acquiring Nintendo would be like the landmark acquisition of his tenure in the company. So they should just stop. I mean, this is the way business goes, you know. I feel like it's pretty wild to see something that big happening. However, we're seeing the most crazy deals. How much did Xbox buy Bethesda for? For $7.5 billion. $7.5 billion. We're seeing these. This has never happened before. And then I think for Xbox or for Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, I believe it's 60, right? No, not Bethesda. $68.7 billion. 68.7 billion dollars. So if we're seeing acquisitions on this scale, I don't think that, Nintendo clearly is valued even above that. But like I don't think that it's impractical to see, Microsoft trying to go for Nintendo. So, or actually succeeding in it, So, wow. Nobody should have $1 billion. I mean, I kind of agree with that. Like, at the same time, we are talking about companies, so this is like company, company value versus like a personal value. But I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I think so too. You and me both, Pietri. You and me both. I know for a fact that if I had $1 billion, I would use that money for so good. Such good things. I really would. Really, really would. But a lot of people see that money and they're just like, more money. So I guess that's the way humans go. So also just on a little bit more gaming. Diablo 4 Season 2 apparently is going to be so big that requires 4 hours for its reveal. I wish that these ads would stop being so gigantic. But Diablo 4 Season is so big, it will need 4 hours of reveal streams. I'm going to take this with the hugest grain of salt, okay? I don't believe it. I don't think that it's actually going to be a good update. All of my goodwill with Blizzard is gone. Maybe if Microsoft buys it, maybe it'll be a little bit better. Maybe they'll be able to shake up some of the leadership that's at Blizzard, or Acti Blizzard, I should say. But at the very moment, I'm very, very disillusioned in how well they can make a game. Apparently, they offer this excuse for Diablo and Diablo 4 and Diablo 4 Season 1, saying that it was Diablo 4 Season 1 was a smaller update because they wanted to pace the update closer to the release so that people have things to do and people won't get, like bored and, like want to move on to different games. They wanted to make sure that they release the update closer to when the actual release of the game is, which is why the update of Season 1 was so small and so unimpactful. But now they're saying that season 2 is going to be humongous and is going to be bringing a whole bunch of new life to the game, etc., etc., etc. So, ad blocker. Oh my God, Kyle. Once again, anyway. So Diablo 4 season 2, season of, there are a lot of ads. So holy shit. Diablo 4 season 2, season of blood will be arriving in about a month. On October 17th. Before that, Blizzard usually does a showcase to talk about the new season and changes and additions coming with it. But Season of Blood is allegedly so big, it will take 2 showcases to reveal it in full, at least according to Diablo GM Rod Ferguson, who says so much stuff in Diablo 4 Season 2 that Pez Radar will need to host 2 deep dive streams to cover it all. Oh my God. I don't know, dude. I mean, I've seen landmark updates from Path of Exile. I'm gonna every single comparison I will bring to Diablo 4, I'm gonna bring back to Path of Exile. Okay, so Path of Exile has had multiple reveals, even with Path of Exile 2 reveal, which had amazing changes. That was only like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I don't know why exactly their update will require so much. But I guess it's supposed to be like really big and really crazy. I paid $100 for the game, so I guess I'm going to be getting the update regardless. I don't know if I'm going to be playing the update, but I guess I will be getting the update. I guess we'll go into it. We'll definitely score it. How about that? We'll score it, and we'll see what goes on. What's up, Kolker? How you doing? But yeah, so apparently that's the deal. October 17th, watch out. It's a little bit less than a month from now, and that's going to be the Diablo 4 season 2 release. I don't know, do y'all believe in Diablo 4? Do y'all? Because I don't. Am I being too hard on them? Y'all enjoy the game? Because I don't. Anyway, so other than that, Resident Sleeper, yeah. I don't fuck with Blizzard anymore. I haven't for years. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of on that train too. So, in addition, there's Immortals of Avium. This studio lays off nearly half its staff a month after releasing the game. So Immortals of Avium, did anybody hear about this game? Because I did not hear about this game at all. Nothing about this game came to my feeds whatsoever. And the worst part about it is that I feel like I am the demographic for this game. I have a little bit of gameplay over here from Jack Frags, and it looks really cool. It looks interesting. It doesn't look like anything super new, but it does look interesting. And it's a AAA foray into like looter shooters, and looks interesting to me.
And make lots of crazy builds. We've got gear score
I heard the name, that's it.
Things that you can equip on your character, and that will improve your stats. So
instead of having guns, you have like magic, and you shoot spells out of your hands like a gun. There's multiple different spells that you can use. It looks really cool.
Okay, well, that's perfect. So I can stick that on straight away. Shattering plus 28% shatter damage.
Like this overall,
Nice.
the itemization kind of looks
movement
basic
abilities
to
too,
me.
So I can double jump, I can dash, and I've got a control, this thing, which pulls people towards me.
But the gameplay looks kind of interesting to me. Merlin looking at us.
I can melee as well. Switch to the
Oop,
red.
you laughed at it at Gamescom.
So the whole idea is that you mix and match the color spells and expose the weaknesses in the baddies. Got some archers here.
I don't think it looks that bad, very honestly.
Hit him with the red there. Oh, some health.
Does look a little bit basic.
Oh, I didn't know that. The control goes around corners. But
Looks a little bit
this
stiff.
guy's done a blue shield, so we'll break that down. Now we can push it with the red.
But
So I have a
ultimately, I
shield
think
too.
it looks kind of cool.
There it is.
I
And
think
if
it
it
looks
gets
like it could, with a little bit of passion and a little bit of maybe better direction. I feel like it could like practically, do a little bit of tussling. I don't think it would take over Destiny, but do a little tussling with Destiny. But I think the ultimate thing is that the marketing was just ass, literal ass, dude. Not only did I not get it, which I am like the main demographic for this game, which I don't understand why I didn't see any advertisements for this game whatsoever. But in addition, they released it at the same exact time that Starfield came out. At the same time that all these, what was the other major competitor? Oh, Baldur's Gate 3. And Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and like you have to space your shit in a way that's going to, you know, be seen to the audience that you want. So their marketing team definitely slacked. But unfortunately, because of their poor sales, it predictably did not do very well after release. They had to say, "Today we are heartbroken as we part ways with friends and colleagues at Ascendant Studios. About 45% of our team." That's so funny that you say that looks like Forspoken. I don't really see the comparison to Forspoken, because Forspoken is like third person, and it's like, you know, I feel like Forspoken is a little bit different than it, but you're not the only person that said that, Pawn. You're not the only person. Mix and match colors. Okay, so Magicka, and I don't care if it's not a gun, it's still a gun. Yeah, but it's you know, in a different sort of, you know, in a different sort of setting. I kind of like it. I feel like I would be down with saying that, oh, okay, this is, you know, it's a gun game, but it's a new type of gun game. I haven't played a gun game like that, you know, so it's still an FPS in my mind, but it has a little bit of flair to it. But yeah, so they made a huge layoff because of their poor sales, which I think is all just due to the marketing of the game, personally. I feel like that 90% of the reason why they had to do that was because they chose a terrible time